Reservoir?
Yes, I will provide you a business card that is only says what the CCD requirement.
How much the company that we have right now charge for that?
$25 an hour.
25? And how much you charge? $20 an hour? Oh, that's a saving of $5 an hour.
Just to let you know, Mr. Lopez, I just brought it up, we just met you, we don't vote all this stuff. That's how the Central County got in the place it was in before, making it. So we'll look at it, we'll definitely ask you questions, references. Do you live here? Are you from the area?
I live
Company
in
from here?
Homestead. I live in Homestead. I travel all over the Florida state, mainly for the purpose of training
Sure.
officer in the security field
Sure.
in the shooting range. But I'm trying, as I said, I'm trying to grow the security field. The pandemic is being tough with me, with
Sure.
the security, with the students and all that, and the high price of the ammunition is
Yep.
killing me right now. So, but it's a hobby that I have. I do it for myself. This is not the only thing that I do. It's the main one, but this is a hobby for me. I have been doing security for a long time. I did it for over 15 years. I was in the military for 8 years, in the Army and National Guard. And I'm trying to grow this company and enjoy it as I do it. It's not something that I'm looking to be.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And the license is a statewide.
Statewide, yes. It's a B license for the state of Florida. B and B gas.
Well, it sounds good to me. We save $5 an hour. How many hours do we do a month?
I'm sorry, say that again.
We do about $1,600 a week.
How many hours?
It depends. If it's a holiday, no holiday weekend, but it's between $1,500 to $1,800 a week.
So we can go on with the meeting. Good question. We have his email address, we have yours. We'll bring you up, so definitely, when that time comes, we'll reach out to the reservoir committee as well, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
One thing I want to talk.
Sure, go ahead.
The company that is right now have a contract with us?
Yes.
So when?
We finish it or they finish it?
What do you mean? That have a date now?
That's what I'm saying, when somebody presents something, we need to grab the information, look it over, and then definitely have a good conversation.
That means if we have a better bid, we can change company.
As far as I remember on the contract, yeah, we will have to read it again to make sure. But
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next one, Josh.
I'll wait till last.
There's no last, you got your chance now, brother.
Yes.
Because you say that all the time, and you stand up several times.
we know you're gonna be doing it all the time, so that's fine.
My name's Josh Parsons. Live here at 185 North Mayoral. Part of the reservoir committee. Just kind of give you all an update real quick. We had a hornet issue that we've been dealing with for a couple months. It has been taken care of.
Good.
The company came in Saturday around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Ended up destroying the hive and also putting some chemicals on top of it. Said within 24 hours that was survived. Pretty much be out of the way.
Sure.
Later on that afternoon, that night, there was some riders that went by. So they didn't notice it was even there anymore. So apparently they are gone. Personally, I've not been back out there since then. Like I said, I have a lot of other people on allergic to them, so it was a whole situation of getting one of them out of the trail. There's also some trash that was picked up outside of the reservoir. And at the gate, did a little bit of tree trimming off the trail, so forth, one thing out there. Besides that, everything else has been running pretty smooth. Numbers are coming up a little bit more.
What are we
On
at?
the keys, we are at, what was it, 130, 160?
135.
Yeah, 135
So far?
so far, and that's since November the 1st.
That's up 150 over here.
Yeah, 150 apiece. And since then, we've also had a pretty good deal with the situations with the guest passes. We've been having more and more of them. Really need to work on trying to come up with something either online or bypass. I'm getting a lot of questions about that.
It's good.
Because not everybody like from down south can be here Monday through Friday. Even though it used to be Monday through Thursday,
Sure.
they have Friday. But now, if there was some way that we could do it kind of Monday through Friday, they could order the tickets or whatever. we just gotta come up with some way of communication of proof to security guard. We don't want our security messing with the money, we don't want to go through that process.
Sure.
So it has to be through that County.
So present something to the board, present something to us, so we can
Right.
come figure it out, and maybe we can reason together and have something. As you guys know, with the reservoir committee, I appreciate what you guys are doing, but as we evolve, we're gonna have to evolve as well.
Right, exactly.
That's a good thing.
Yes,
That's a good thing for the whole community.
right, exactly. Also, now that we have the office done, we want to know if we can actually start having our meetings in this once a month, maybe the first Saturday of every month, and on the Saturday. That way people that are not from this area,
Sure.
that are here on the weekends can actually go on the meeting and put their input, because that's the whole reason of us having them, is to hear the actual public from the
Sure.
area.
And that's what we want.
Right, there's a lot of good ideas, I mean, just, not the local people from outside or something.
Great. Yeah,
So, if that's approvable with,
just get with her,
It's
Emilio.
already been approved.
Okay. well, the reason why I ask is because I know someone's gotta be here to work it. But like during that process, can they sell keys? Like during that meeting, that'd be a perfect time, once a month on a Saturday. They could buy the keys. I don't wanna put no pressure on them because I know they got it.
Well, that's something that is not gonna be guaranteed because, for
Right.
example, when you do the meeting, we can have the garbage guy have the key for you.
Right.
It doesn't really mean that they give you.
Well, it doesn't matter who does it, but I'm just saying, I know that
Sure.
I don't wanna put no pressure on Central County because I know they got a lot to do already, but they got going on, so.
We'll figure it out.
But it's just an idea. It's just
I mean, we can think of it.
Yeah, we've been working pretty good together.
Maybe once every couple
Does
months.
the committee have anything
Yes.
proposed in the near future? Any events or anything planned in the next 3
Not at this
months?
point in time. We were trying to wait and see what was gonna happen with the economy and everything else that's going on. Now that we took care of the Hornet High thing, I think we were gonna do something during Valentine's. But because of the Hornet and everything else is going on, we decided not to.
Okay,
But we do have stuff planned for the holidays coming up as well.
okay,
Okay?
all right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, appreciate the great job out there. That to me is actually a success story. That's the community members getting involved, being a part of something. That's what's gonna help Montour become better when the community gets involved, because we definitely don't have all the answers to this community. You as members and us coming together, putting our differences aside to make a better community, that's what will help Montour become better and will attract more people, and more people will want to get involved and let this be their home, or John, their second home, right? We appreciate everybody. If it's your primary, your secondary, your third one, that's fine. We accommodate and we appreciate it because Montour is becoming a better place. Thank you. Thank you for that. John, we're gonna go to number 2. We waited for your. So you know what? Before we go to number 2, we have also public comment. Roy Franco and Sherry Hand from the Henry County Sheriff's Vice Program. So we'll come up.
Good evening. My name is Roy Franco. I'm from the Henry County Sheriff's Office. I'm the crime prevention officer, and Sherry Hand is our social media officer.
Good.
What we do is, what I do is, I'm the liaison between the communities and the sheriff's office. I've got some information that I'd like to put out. We just came out with a brand new program. It's called VICE, Video Identification Community Effort.
Okay.
What it consists of is, we would like for volunteers, the community effort. If anybody has cameras, what we're asking for is, if you can sign up for this program, is it okay?
Yes, sir, please.
If you can sign up for this program as volunteer, what the program does is, we're gonna take your name, information, your phone number, and if you volunteer, I've got my applications here, not my applications, but my brochures, it's got my information. If you need me to come to your house where we can get the cameras, where they're positioned, and what type of cameras you have, what happens is, a quick example, if you have house A, B, and C, house B calls a deputy because their car was broken into. House A has a camera. Maybe their camera is positioned to where that was captured. If this is captured, what happens is when the deputy shows up to house B, it's going to alert him and let him know that there's a camera in the vicinity. He's going to go to that, and once he goes up to where it's alerting him, it's going to give the name and the address of that person that has that camera. What we will do is, from there, is we're going to contact that person and see if we can use that video to possibly prosecute that person. Like I said, it's voluntary. There's a couple of questions that I have that I can answer for you that I've had asked in the past.
Sure.
In LaBelle, we have approximately 14 communities. You know, between Tall Pines, Bay Pines, there's a lot of 14 total communities. And what happens is, as we introduce this program, and they come into the program, they ask, does the sheriff have access to our cameras? No, they do not. We have access to your name and your phone number and your address. That's what we have access to. The other question was, will we be subpoenaed? The odds are no. If they can make a proper identification before it even goes to court, the odds are they're going to settle out of court. If for any reason you were subpoenaed, the most part that you'd be subpoenaed for is, if you would be called for, would be to answer one simple question, and that is, do you own the video? That is about it. They're not going to ask you, and this is where a lot of people get intimidated. They're scared because it says there's a possibility of being subpoenaed. They're scared that they're going to question them. Did you see this? Did you see the perpetrator? Do you know the perpetrator? When did it happen? No. All we want to know is if you caught that crime happening, if we can use your video. If you're a volunteer and you captured that crime and you let us know, yes, we did, then we'll send investigator to come and edit that piece of that video for court, if that makes sense. One more thing I was going to tell you. My social media officer, it's kind of a, I have to tell you, it's kind of a joke, but it wasn't at first. At first, I used to come and tell people, social media's officer here, if anybody has an outstanding warrant, y'all might want to get out of the picture. Let me tell y'all real quick. She is here, she's taking pictures, and we just happened to be at a function, and I don't want to mention Grandma's Grove because I don't want them to know that I'm talking bad about it. But we were sitting down, and I told him that, and this guy just happened to get up. I had already actually talked to him and asked him his name. He got out of the picture. It struck me as a little bit odd. I didn't went in my camera, checked the camera. By then he was already gone. He didn't have an outstanding warrant in Highlands County, so if anybody's got a, you know, before the social media officer takes a picture, y'all might have to get out. We're not here to arrest anybody, okay? But other than that,
Not tonight.
not tonight. But other than that, I want to leave some brochures with you. And we have one more presentation due tonight. I appreciate you having us here and giving us the opportunity to come and talk to you about our brand new program.
Roy, one thing also, what would probably benefit you guys, if you could come out to our next meeting that has to do with the animals, there'll be about 120 people in the audience that have cameras, and we would
love to.
You would get to most of them all too.
I'll piggyback on what Mr. Mata said. I mean, my apologies that not many people are here. We just had a meeting last Saturday, and we had over 200 people. I mean, almost 200 people in that meeting, okay? And residents, and those people were talking about animals. I'm kind of concerned that they would be thinking about cameras and all that kind of stuff. But again, I want to say thank you for coming out. We'll get the word out. We'll use our media platforms to go ahead and send it out as well. And I think your presentation is very well.
Thank you. In my brochures, they have my information. You can call, text, or email me. My information is on that brochures, and I do have them both in Spanish and English.
And you are bilingual as well, just
Yes,
in
I
case
am.
they need to get over.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ann, for bringing him as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And what about the Sergeant Norwood? He's not gonna do a
Oh,
presentation?
he'll be out of time.
Okay, not a
Thank
problem.
you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. All right, John, we're gonna go to number 2. Any, do you know of any additions, deletions, or Becky also substitutions to the agenda items?
I have an amendment, to ask for an amendment on our minutes for December, where we, adopted the resolution for the new board members to be added.
Sure.
We need to, take out David Miller and add John Boyd. So I need to, get approval from the board to amend my minutes for the bank, for the signature card.
I know the word, so he can sign.
Yeah, you'll be able to sign the checks as well.
Are you gonna be able to sign checks?
Yeah, for the signature.
The trust?
Well, that's, 100%.
Okay, no problem.
For bond is good. So we should put it up for a vote.
Sir, can we get a motion on the floor by the board?
Second,
Can we get a motion first?
motion, sir.
Have a motion, can we get a second? A second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Amendment on the, for adding Mr. Boyd to the, sign of the checks. So let's get adopted agenda. Can we get a motion, or do we have any questions about the approval, meeting minutes for January 27th, 2020? Do we have any questions? No questions? Can we get can we get something on the floor for approval? Get a motion for approval, the meeting minutes for January?
Motion for approval.
We have a motion on the floor, so we have a second, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Approval of the meeting minutes is carried. Yes, sir? Forever hold your peace. John, we're gonna go to number 4. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All on the
So,
agenda?
yeah. So 4A is adoption of a performance evaluation for the manager.
Sure.
And again, we're gonna see this come up a couple of times tonight. Just
Good.
putting things in place. We're not
Sure.
gonna reinvent the wheel every time.
Good.
And so I took a shot at a performance evaluation. I looked at what other managers, those that had available public records of their evaluation. So that's what this was based on. So
Good.
it's really now up to you to decide, do you like what we have here? Do you want to add
Sure.
categories to be evaluated under? Do you want to delete categories?
Mr. Romero, glad you brought this up. On the previous meeting, I asked, the question was, is this the same one you brought last time?
Yes.
About 2 months ago? prior to
Yes.
segment? And I asked as well, in our last meeting, if I may recall, to make it much simpler, did you remember that conversation?
Yes.
Yes.
So this has just 6 categories. And again, I need direction from the consensus on the board.
After I read it last time, and the ones that I've done in the past in my business, it basically, it throws in there, it's kind of the same kind of performance on the same kind of levels, because at the end of the day, he's supposed to be doing that type of job, you know, his reporting mixed in with policy and execution, so like, it's just, they balanced out. What I'm looking at as well, you worked at it, because it's smaller, I mean, you reduced it compared to the last time.
A little bit, and what I did is, I did reduce the categories, but I did expand, so there's 2 parts to this, I should go over. So part 1 is the objective part. You score 1 through 5 in each of these categories, and the categories, very straightforward, individual characteristics, composure, commitment to tasks, things of that nature. Category 2 is professional skills and status. Is he keeping up with taking continuing education, trying new things and new ideas? Category 3 is his ability to interact well with you, the elected members. The 4 people up here, the engineer, treasurer, myself, and Arminio, we report to you. We're all at-will appointees, and so our ability to interact well with each of you is critical. So that's category number 3. Category number 4 is policy execution. So you set policy, we execute it. And so that covers that area. Then reporting, you need to know what's going on. We have had a lot of discussion in the past about what gets reported to the board, what doesn't.
Sure.
It's probably the one area where there's been as much discussion and debate.
Sure.
And so, the manager needs to provide you with regular reports. And if something, like we came up with something last year with incident reports. If there's a personnel issue, if there's an accident, an incident report must be filled out, and whenever an incident report is filled out, it's immediately transmitted to you. So you have it, you know things have happened, you don't hear it through the rumor mill.
How are we gonna be receiving that? Email?
Email,
Email, okay, going forward?
yes.
Okay.
Email is good too because it's a paper trail for everything. You know that that's my primary means of communicating with you. I send you regular emails, some of them are a little bit long, I admit, but it's to keep that paper trail. And then staffing, one of the key parts of the manager's job is to attract and retain good workers. And so this category picks up all of those issues about he as a manager managing the staff. So those are the 6 categories. And then you come up with a score. Then the second half is the narrative. This is the subjective part. You can fill it out. The more you put, the more feedback you provide, the better.
Sure.
Some people put a sentence under each category. This is your opportunity to go freeform and convey what are your particular issues and needs and priorities are. And so these categories are, what do you identify as the manager's strengths? What do you identify as the areas where they need improvement? It all follows a kind of a logical flow.
Sure.
You say what people do well, but you also need to tell them what they need to improve on.
Absolutely.
And then the last 2 categories are, suggestions. What do you think the manager should do to enhance his performance? And then the final one is the catch-all. You can just, whatever else comes to mind in terms of feedback you want to provide to the manager. I think it's a good thing because, number one, no manager can perform well unless and until they understand what the bosses want.
Feedback.
It's very simple. And then it gives the manager an opportunity to understand how his performance is going and knowing I'm doing the right thing or I'm not doing the right thing.
Sure.
It's been difficult to get something in place and stick to it. And by the way, the performance evaluation is in the manager's contract. It's just never been done.
Very well. No, I think this, you did a real good job on this right now, I was looking at it, I was like, wow, last time it was like over 10 categories extra. But now, handling this, once we do this performance evaluation, and this is gonna be an average evaluation, because, again, we as individuals are not his boss, as individuals. As a board, we come together and make decisions. Now, when we're coming together, are we gonna come together on this, and you're gonna average it out when it comes down to his final evaluation? Even though he's gonna be able to have access to the last ones, so he can be able to read them, any positive, any negative, he can be able to read it as individuals. But how are we gonna handle that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So that's a positive yes and a positive no. Yes, we are gonna add up the scores so that he gets an objective number. However, on the subjective part, I've spent my life working for elected bodies, and the truth is, I have to change my style each time my board changes.
Sure.
I'm the city attorney for the city of Okeechobee, and last year there was an election. 3 of the 5 new board members came in, and they had radically different issues and priorities. It's my job to know what they are and adapt to them. So it changes, and as new board members come and go, we have to adapt. You might get a board member that's an accountant and they want to drill deep in numbers and they want more reports and they want more financial reporting. You adapt.
Sure.
Some boards aren't as interested in that. They're interested in construction projects. So you adapt, and that's what a good manager does, is they pivot and adapt to what their board is interested in.
Sure. So what do you need from us this evening, or do we need to just take a look at this?
Let me know if it's acceptable. If it is, vote on it. If you want additional time, we can bring it back next month. It's really up to you.
We have to put it out right now, or?
No, this is just adopting the form, and so we gotta give him 6 months, because now that he knows how he's gonna be graded, we have to,
Sure.
you don't wanna grade him unless he knows what the rules of the game are.
So we fill this
Yeah.
out in 6 months.
Correct. but we need to let him know what the standards are.
Expectations are
Yeah,
going forward.
exactly.
Can we email you back, or does it need to be in a public meeting like this to give us a chance to look at it? And
You can-
hash it out?
Yeah, all of you can always email me
Okay.
edits, ideas, and then it
Okay.
ultimately has to be voted on at a public
Sure.
meeting. But in between, I encourage all of you, call me, email me. Many of you do, and we talk, you have questions, that's why I'm there.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Danny, I think with missing one board member, I think we should hold off until the next board, so we vote on it.
Also, we can look at it and
And
chop it up a
chop it up a
little
little
bit
bit.
if we have to. Just spice it up or take something out.
I'm sorry.
And with that being said, can we add a section where the employees will give us their feedback regarding how his leadership is on that aspect? Because we're not here to the day-to-day, so from an inside ear, it could be confidential, they fill out a little form, it gets submitted to us, so we can hear how our employees feel, how, if they feel appreciated, stuff like that. Because at, other atmospheres and other jobs or position, when they do your month, they do it 6 month or your half period evaluation, they usually always have a question, how do you feel about your leadership, manager, and stuff like that. And I think that's something I want to know as a board member, to see how my manager treats his employees and how do the employees feel.
I don't think that's a good idea.
You can, let me just say, so the whole 360 review is something that came up about 10 years ago. It makes good sense. In practice, it's a little tricky. It says nothing's confidential, as you know. In federal government, everything's out. So most employees are never going to really tell you how they really feel. And if they do, let's say, we're human beings, it gets so. Those in theory are fantastic. In practice, especially in government, where it'd be ideal if you could keep it confidential, so if you say, he's not doing this, that it won't get out, but unfortunately, it's all public record, so it will get out. That's your prerogative.
I don't think it's a good idea because, you're giving room there, somebody has some personal issues, whatever, then they're gonna come out and you're saying. It's so loud. Besides, they are not like the employees, they're not like that. So they should know how, no power, no saying, or the manager, no saying the country. We are, so we are the ones that have to say on his performance, and that's not.
So, if the board thinks that we should hold off on this and the next meeting come up with a decision. Also, if you could give this to Supervisor Alvarez so he can have his input that is missing, and then we'll figure out something for
We
you.
can send them an email.
So we can start grading you properly and assist you and assist us to get better as well. With that being said, Mr. Histon, did you have your hand up? I forgot you, I'm sorry.
I had a question for the officer.
For the officer?
Can we surveil our neighbors?
Are you what now?
Can we surveil our neighbors?
Well, Santana does.
Doesn't mean it's.
I mean,
I would have a real.
you at work, go to work.
Tasing.
Tasing.
You can look at your neighbor from here. I don't know where you go, but.
I tell you what,
You can, so it's all about what they call expectation of privacy. So whatever's outside the four walls of your house, there's no expectation of privacy. You do something in your lawn, back, front, and there's a camera on it, you have no expectation of privacy. Now, inside that four walls, if someone puts a camera in your window, that's different. You have an expectation of privacy in your home. And they invade that, they break the law.
So I tell you what, that what you're speaking of is not one of the three things that we take care of in Central County. It ain't one of the three things that we take care of in Central County.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Please go.
Recreation, the ditches, and the swells. That's it. In the roads, in the roads. Yes.
Those are the three things that we actually oversee. You know, a lot of times there's that gray area. We'll work in the gray area if possible.
I don't know, it's hard to hear them.
But those are the three main things that we have, that we control. And a lot of times when,
And what
you know, when I was talking with Arnold one day, when we say county, a lot of people misinterpret county. They think Central County, not knowing it's Hendry County, so the interpretation can get a little confusing at times. So,
So
yeah.
are you I would like to bring something up.
Sure, bro.
Thanks about the animal. I just put it on the truck.
We have been having a lot of situations and a lot of issues with four wheels and, motorcycles, ATVs. I have been talking to a lot of residents, and issues and situations have been bringing up. I believe we can come out with a solution. I want to bring up a solution. Like the state status. If we could, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We can put the speed limit signs on the roads of 25 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour. We can request DOT for all the ATVs to provide the roads. If we vote, that we don't pass it. Now, now we are residents, many of them, they like to ride the ATVs. They can have the opportunity to ride the ATVs on the roads. And they can go to the ATVs family. So I think that,
Actually, I appreciate that. If you could wait to the supervisor so we can discuss that when your time up, which is great.
Yes, sir.
Just bring it up when it's time. I want to try to follow. From here on out, I'd like to follow this agenda.
Yes.
I enjoyed the Henry County meeting. I could not believe, Josh, how fast it finished. I'd like to finish in that time.
You seen that?
1 hour and 22 minutes.
That's right. They were smoking.
My other,
Big step.
like the city of Oak Ridge, they spend millions every month. Meeting never go longer than 2 hours.
We're working on it, John. We're 40 minutes in. We're working on it. We'll bring that up
If you stay on the
I- I-
agenda, that helps
Go ahead.
focus.
I leave the meetings at 4 o'clock.
Really? I think that's why they're moving here.
That's because,
I think that's why they're here.
In my office.
Arlo, that's why they're moving here, right? We're half that. So we'll bring that up, Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's go to B, John.
so this is another one where I just, over you hear problems, complaints, and so, but I took a shot at coming up with a modern right-of-way permit, because the one we have, they call it a permit. Has anyone ever seen one?
It's inside your binders.
Yeah, it's not.
Not the ones we had before.
Yeah, that's not a permit. And so I tried to come up with something that actually looks like a permit.
Sure.
It has conditions.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
You changed the language, you changed,
Can I pull that down? It
we
has.
adopted some language last time, correct?
Yeah, yeah, and Larry gave us some comments, which I incorporated. And this, so it has conditions on it, you know. It says that you, the owner, the lot, have an obligation to maintain that culvert. And if you drive the trailer over that culvert and it gets crushed, you have to repair it, because those culverts we have now is many of those culverts are not operable. What that means is it causes flooding because water's not moving. And you can actually cause flooding on your neighbor because your driveway culvert isn't functioning. And, you know, it's on your property. It's our right of way. And so this clarifies that that's the responsibility of the lot owners. That was a question that came up several months ago.
Yes, it
There was
is.
some confusion. So, again, this is a big deal. I want you to make sure that you've read it. I emailed it to everybody. But I have extra copies.
Now, I have one question, and the question is then, this will be going forward.
Yes.
Okay, now, the folks that have culverts that are 20 years in place already, if they damage them, it's still their responsibility, correct?
Yes.
Here is just, we're using that as a guideline going forward.
Yeah, I think out of fairness, people need to understand what their responsibilities are.
Sure.
Is there anything in here that states as a let's say natural cause? Let's say, like some people have trees close to where their driveways are. Let's say a tree falls and rips it out. Does this apply to that as well?
Listen, So acts of God. If I can tell you, my house, my front yard, a tree fall, I have to, you know, I didn't cause it, but it's my property, I gotta fix it. So that would be included, acts of God, whatever they may be.
John, on this,
If you look at, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just- How many lots are there in Montour? 7,000?
roughly about 6,500.
6,400 and something.
About 6,500.
If you, one day, all those lots will be occupied, they'll have driveways. I mean, it would be tens of billions of dollars of liability and responsibility on Central County. It just is not realistic for the district to take on that financial responsibility. And frankly, again, some people are very responsible, respectful, and some people aren't. And so they should just, if you're running tractor trailers and you're parking for them on your property and over time that culvert's crushed, then you should fix it. It shouldn't be the taxpayers, because it's not our money, it's the taxpayers' money. Why should the taxpayers be forced to clean up damage that someone else caused? I wouldn't want my money used that way.
That is a very good point right there, and the question I want to bring up is, if they damage that pole, and it's got a dent, and it's damaged, Central County has to come out and mow around it, and it will be a hazard to our employees, or foot traffic, or any kind of vehicle out there. What time limit are we gonna have those people to go ahead and get that fixed, or how are we gonna move forward, going forward, since we're not the code enforcement on that?
Let me just say,
Code
here's-
enforcement gonna work with me on that line.
Yeah, we keep hearing about what the three things that Central County is responsible for. You know, it's water management or flood control, roads and recreation. Here's the good news.
So that's
When
a
it
flood.
comes to flood control, you have tons of authority. If you look in the statute, you can unilaterally point to somebody, and if that culvert isn't working, you can make them fix it. If they don't fix it, you can fix it and make them pay for it. You have tons of authority when it comes to flood management and water management.
Sure, we try to work with the homeowners.
Of course, but you have a lot of discretion there
Sure.
because it's part of our mission. So the legislature gave us lots of authority when it comes to flood protection.
Little bit of ringing, Jose. Mr. Bennett, I'm pretty sure you helped with this. When it comes to material, I'm seeing reinforced concrete, aluminum, asphalt, coated, galvanized, and other. What's that in reference to?
That's the material for the culvert can be made of.
So we're gonna go with, it's okay to use other material besides HDPE now? Because right now, HDPE is the approved material.
That's what we're using, but it's pretty much anything that's DOT approved.
Understood.
And this, so I pulled this together by looking at what other water.
No,
companies did.
I have no issues, I'm just saying what we're doing
No, I'm just saying,
now.
I pulled it out of, you know where, so
Yeah.
if you wanna limit it, this is the time to tell.
And the reason for the question, Mr. Bennett, like there's some people that lived here since the '70s, that stuff that's in the ground is ate up, just like the stuff that we're rehabbing right now, right? Remember all the pipes that we did in the canal? It's eating up. So just wondering, as a community, we're going to have probably dirt roads forever, canals moving water forever. If we use some of this material that's in this language, it has a lifespan. Or some of this other stuff doesn't have a lifespan.
Well, probably all of it has a lifespan, we just don't know what the HDPE lifespan is yet.
Correct. That one we don't know.
PVC, they said it didn't have a lifespan.
Sure.
We're finding out that it really does.
But some of these galvanized pipes in these canals, they're shot, as you well know, because we changed most of them.
Replacing them, yeah.
And it's an expensive investment after 40 years. It becomes an expensive investment. So I've always been of the opinion, if we're gonna do something right, let's do it right the first time. My personal opinion. But sometimes we like to do twice as nice.
Well, you know, it's now the responsibility of the homeowner to replace it if it rusts out or whatever, so,
Agreed, but we can
we
actually
can
assist them to
specify-
lead them in
we
the
can
right direction.
Specify that it be the HDPE, DOT approved
Ron, which section are you referring to?
right underneath the red section right here, the material. Because I have, driving around, I have seen the, it's almost like a storm drain pipe, the reinforced concrete, I've seen that. I've seen, yes, sir, I've seen a little bit of everything, and I'm not against it. I'm just saying for the sake of us as a community, if we have some type of uniformity, because me as a resident,
Our standard, yes.
we have a standard, and me as a resident, if I'm purchasing in Montura, I'm probably looking at trying to get a good deal. So I might say, man, you know what, there's a good deal, I'm gonna get a good deal here. But it might cause us problems down the line because of OD, ID, you know what I'm saying? And we've gotta make the pitches right, because all of these three different options carry a different outside diameter as well as the inside diameter. So, and during flooding, as we have experienced, we can, see a lot of issues. So I would like to see, if much as just my 2 cents is, I'd like to see a uniformity, a standard, and that we use it across.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we can do that.
Okay.
We just wanna make sure.
I'm not against
We
options.
just wanna make sure it's DOT approved, because there's lots of
Sure.
HDPE pipe out there that doesn't meet it.
So we're gonna hold off on this, or we're just gonna remove that one? Or that guy one?
Well, I think we should look at it as a board, look at it.
Well, remember, that's the application.
Sure.
What I got, there's 2. You apply, and then if you have a complete application, you get a permit. There's 2 different things. What we had now is an application that also,
But the permit will tell you, hey,
Permit has the
what you can put
conditions.
in, the conditions, okay?
yeah, and I think, Daniel, that's what, you had read the permit, because that's really what's changing. The applications, I think, staying the same.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, it's actually 2 documents
It used to be that your application turned into a permit, but
So if we can come up with a board, what kind of material would be, FDOT approved, and again, what will help us and the community as well as the homeowners. Again, I'm not trying to tax the homeowners anymore.
I believe,
Yes, sir.
I believe the engineer, Mr. Butter,
That is?
is the one that
Yes.
recommends those which material. Do you think it's better, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the subject matter expert, sure. So if you could look at that, when you get a chance, Mr. Bennett, make some great recommendations to us. And if you also could tell us, hey, you know what, this reinforced concrete might last 15 years, this other stuff might last 2 years, this one might last 40. Because as you know, the infrastructure of America is going, we need a overhaul. Everything we have in the ground needs to be replaced in America, just about right now.
I know we're looking at uniformity, but can we give them 3 options? Or is it just gonna be a set option?
No, you can do
That's kind of what we've done here, is, although we probably, we've given them 3 here, and
You're gonna 3 there.
actually, the HDPE is not one of them.
I see that.
But that's what most of them are using.
That's exactly right. Mostly everybody right now that I see is HDPE.
So we're gonna get rid of the galvanized and put that one in there in place?
No, I'm just saying whatever whatever options, but I definitely don't see that on this, John. What we're actually asking the people to use right now, I don't see that. And I'm not sure, is it on the list as we speak?
No,
No, as we speak now.
no.
HDPE is not on there? No, this is not our thing that we use right now as we speak. Our permit.
The new one that you have in your
Our
office.
permit, this is the one we use.
Now?
This is the new one that Fomero is coming up with.
yeah, you're looking at something different.
Okay.
2 different
Yeah.
things. You're looking at the application, which
Sure.
haven't changed.
Okay.
Right.
This is the old application.
Okay.
It's good that we're looking at it, by the
Sure.
way, 'cause we should might as well update that too.
Okay.
Sure.
Like why does it have Hendry County's contact information?
Because at the bottom of the applications, we actually go by the codes from Henry County on the driveway. The last yellow line at the end of, on the bottom.
All construction of DEP, by Henry County standards, or approved plan.
What's approved plan?
Yeah, we probably need to look.
It's the actual way, the way they inspected the driveway. of course, they have different inspectors, so when somebody do a driveway on Pinecone, for example, they'll prepare the place, and then the inspector will come and look at the place, and then when they have the pipe and the material, the inspector will have to come and they have to put the pipe and the material on top of it. It's a whole process.
It's a process, yes.
We do it on a different way. We sell the permit, we go put the elevations, the landowner or the contractor finish the job, and then we go and inspect it.
Mhm.
That's the way we do it.
It's like doing a roof. They ask you for, they wanna see the,
Yeah.
the
They wanna see the whole
paper,
process.
They wanna see you, you know, it's a process. Well, we don't do that, here like that process. Let me ask you this question, going into this, I'm glad this has come up. John, can you clarify for us, or somebody, Mr. Bennett, can you guys clarify for us? Because there's a lot of people that have purchased property that's on a wetland, and they're asking us, how is it that you gave me a permit to go into this property knowing it's a wetland? So can you guys please catch that up?
So, if you look at the new permit,
Sure.
there's a condition that says, this permit does not eliminate the necessity to obtain any federal, state, local, or special district prior to the start of any activity.
It's
So,
number 7.
Number 7.
So in other words, it's at your own risk. You're supposed to do your own investigation.
So by us giving the permit, we don't tell them, hey, I'm allowing you to mess up that wetland?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Just want to
I
clarify.
mean, it's just like if they were building something that was inconsistent with code, it's not our job to say, hey, doesn't match Hendry County code, because that's not our area of responsibility or jurisdiction.
Sure, so we won't beat this dead horse. Can we get to the second part?
And by the way, see that condition, that's why we need to update these permits. That's in almost any permit you get from government.
Sure.
You have
It
that.
removes us from being liable.
And also, I'm not sure, like I say, on the second half of this discussion, pricing for the permit, anybody want to speak on that, or what's, I guess this was brought up as
I
well?
mean, I think the permit of
It says here,
the driveway,
yes, sir, it talks about a price as well.
well, I wanna give my opinion. How much?
I don't know what we're talking about, but go ahead. That's what I'm asking, go ahead.
Well, I think he wants to talk about the pricing of the permit.
Sure.
Didn't you want to make a proposal?
What is, what is?
No.
Benny had brought it up.
Benny brought it up on the last meeting.
Oh,
and
What is the
we-
price, what is the price right now?
I don't know,
What is the price of the permit right now?
75,
Right now it's $75.
I would like to bring up an amount. I believe we can do $100 for the permit.
I'm sorry, you believe what?
We can do $100 for the permit.
Well, Benny's number was 150, and then you guys take it from there. That's up to you guys.
I believe that's too much. I believe that's too much.
Well,
I believe 100 would be fair.
I understand. Go ahead.
This is where I want to step in. We be very cautious of our community and what our community estimated value price is for our residents. Let's be very cautious at that, number one. But also being realistic, what other water districts in our local area for certain things as permits, what do they charge?
That's a good point.
And their low, their area that estimates around the same thing. Because if they charge $100, then I think that's fair. But if they charge a little bit more, then we need to come to the 20th century, I get it, we're in the middle of nowhere, but we also need to understand that we are developing. People are coming here, we need to have great quality, and we need to make sure that we're executing that for years to come. So, with numbers being thrown, wouldn't you guys think we should get a survey or something done from the attorney or engineer from other water districts of that nature to see what other water districts charge? Before we come up with a number?
Daniel, I don't really think we should go by any other district charge. We should go by ourselves, Central County Water District. People coming over here now, a lot of people coming over here to have the properties. Not everybody has enough money. There's a lot of people, they come over here, they want to have a little place, go going private, they want to run away from the big cities, it's fog, many people, some people don't, that's struggling to survive, right? So we cannot go by another district. Maybe our district, people could be differently in the financial frame that the people are coming over here. So that's why we have that $100, I think it's a fair rate.
All right, anybody else wants to discuss this?
I'm glad you guys are going back and forth on this, and I want this to be clear. The residents that are here, they're here already, and they have their culverts. We have not been able to raise taxes in the last 13 years. Okay? Thank you, sir. 18. So we're trying to figure out ways going forward how Central County could bring up and continue collecting fees from those that are coming now, okay? And the shell rock, the equipments that we're getting to continue fixing our roads, the amount of work that we're putting in, we have continued throughout the years not paid attention to any of this. Such as, I'll give you an example, and Mr. Iglesias brought it up the other day. He commented on it. We charge only $25 to use our clubhouse, when other cities or municipalities charge larger amounts. I'm not going to throw a number, but they're all much higher. So we don't want to go ahead and open up that can of worms. But this is what we're trying to do. Just like the reservoir and everything that we're trying to do, we're trying to figure out a way for those that are coming now, are getting better results, better shell rock, better production, better maintenance on our roads and all that going forward. Let them pay a realistic fee for our culverts. Those that are here already, they're already putting their culverts. They're not gonna get hurt. But if you're coming in to invest in our community, and you wanna use our roads, and you wanna continue having our services, I think 150, like Mr. Benny said the other day, and I think it was a great idea, and I wrote up some numbers. We got over 6,000 something lots here in Monterey, which not even a handful of that number is developed today. And we're looking towards the future. Today, I say 150. Maybe in 3 or 4 years from now, we go 200. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I want to make sure not to dig into those people's pockets and take their money and raise taxes when we could go ahead and raise just $50 extra, or I'm sorry, $75 extra to those that are coming in. Those that are coming in from New Jersey, Miami, West Palm Beach. You want to help me out here or something? Or else? Hialeah, all those guys that are coming in.
Are you every day, because they're running?
Yes, I'm trying to imitate you. So that's it's realistic. Let's think about that. The people we already have homes. We already have that. So those that are coming out, they're coming in and they want to be part of our community and they want to do something right for our community. I think that's more than fair. Now, as a board, we need to think going forward and make a decision. I stand it and I make a motion for 150.
Sorry, but you're not the chair, you can't make the motion.
No, thank you, thanks.
I should ask for a motion. That's what I asked for.
Ask for a motion.
It's also a fee they only pay one time.
Thank you, sir.
Any more conversation?
I'm sorry, Daniel.
I'm
sorry.
No, you answered everything I was going to say.
But again, we don't want to go into our community's pockets. Our community's pockets at all. Those that are coming in, bring it to us. We're more than glad to take your money.
So why don't we do it as we go? Why don't we do it as we go into a community again? Because to be honest with you, for the record, we're a growing community. We're not going to be a cash cow here. I don't think we're ever going to be a cash cow here. But like anything, you can do it in steps. You can do it in programs. You can do it in leaps. Maybe first year you go up $25. Second year you go up another $25.
Yes,
Until we get to a cap where we're not going to make $1 million. This is my opinion.
Yes, sir.
I want people to come, to enjoy, to build,
yes, sir.
to be a part. Giving out covert permits is not going to make us rich.
Yes, sir. I second that.
It's not going to make us rich. It's going to help. but it's not gonna make us rich.
I make a motion $100.
But, hold on one second, but that's just my 2 cents. Mr. You have a question, or you have a comment or something right quick?
Yeah, we spoke with Raymond about this, and he had a suggestion to help the people that currently live here. Keep it at 75 for them. If they want to redo their culvert, they have galvanized now, they want to change plastic, keep it at 75 for them. And then the new people coming in, charge them a higher rate, because they're the ones that are investing in the community now. And don't penalize the people that already live here.
Agreed.
Would be a good suggestion.
Vince County does $100.
Board, do we have,
and for
what are we
replacement.
gonna put a motion on the floor for?
I have something for you guys to consider. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
Thank you.
Before you guys decide, we're putting in plan to start, doing our swells. And I want you guys to keep in mind that we already have almost 400 covers to change on our canals bank.
Sure.
But also, if you guys drive to Montura, I would say like 70% of the covers are old and they're gonna need to be replaced.
Sure.
With that being said, when we do the swell, it's gonna be a whole different elevation. So every single cover that is old, we're gonna have to dig them out and put our brand new cover in,
Who's paying for that?
just in case. We're taking them out.
I believe,
I don't-
Mr. Pomelo said,
I don't
that
think
we don't
so.
have to pay.
Yeah, I don't think,
You say that in one week,
My personal opinion, I don't think that's correct.
You don't have to, but take a step back, that's why, these decisions, you gotta
Sure.
slow down and think. So what most agencies do is, like this program about the permits, they make sure that it's cost neutral. In other words, like for this, do you charge to sign off on the permits? Me? Yes.
He charges us money.
They
He charges us
What
money.
you figure out is, what does it cost to run the program?
Sure.
And then they try to get enough fees to pay for it, so
Right.
pay for the program.
Agreed.
That's usually the goal,
Yes, sir.
so that your money can be spent on new things.
Sure.
They've had discussions about the reservoir. What does it cost to
Sure.
maintain the reservoir?
Sure.
What does it cost for security? And those permits should cover those costs, right?
Understood.
I think with that being said, the permits right now are what?
75.
I think for the residents that are here now, and they've been here, moving forward with our agreement, they still pay that $75. It'll be a mandatory thing, everyone pay that. And because they have to be replaced, we're moving on to the 20th century, we're developing our community, we're making it look beautiful. And to make sure there's no flooding, the community loves to comment and say that when we have hurricanes, there's a lot of flooding. So if we're gonna be developing our swells and our roads, I think that would be, their diligence. This is your payment of $75. And for our new residents and people who are coming in, they'll be adapting to the newer payment as a newer resident to our beautiful community of Montour. That's what I propose.
So, let's stop beating this dead horse. Can we get a motion on the floor? What is the motion?
$100.
Is that it? That's your motion, $100?
Yes.
$100 for new, existing?
No, for the 60-75 and for the new 100.
All right. And so just always keep in mind too that you pass a law.
Sure.
Who's going to enforce it? Because we have very limited staff, one person. The other guys are out in the field. Now someone's going to have to track, create a database.
I think that's the meeting.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Once you start creating classes,
We can get with
you can do it, but
the
you have to
county
create a database.
appraisal's office, and they can pull the list of, the history of our landowners.
Yes.
And then for our residents, the rule applied to the
Yeah.
landowners.
All I'm
the
saying is
homeowners.
someone has to do that, and there are thousands of owners.
No, not only that,
$100 per permit?
when you get
It's
a
doable.
property,
It's
and
doable.
when you get a property and the cover is not up to code,
Gotta do it first.
that is not ground cover. So whoever's buying you is gonna have to put a brand new
They
cover.
still have to have a permit,
Charge
written
whatever amount we
permit, to
say.
be able to do that, even a replacement.
So
You just write
what do we have
replacement.
on the floor? Because also we can amend it.
$100.
Is there any other thing that we need to think about, John, before we vote on this?
So do we have the right to separate the amount between one resident and the other one?
We're squishing that out, we're taking that
Because
out.
I remember what was talked over here a lot before, and, I mean, everybody pays the same amount of maintenance fee or taxes. How can we separate, I mean, it's
So-
not, I just don't wanna get in trouble
Legally, you can do it,
on the future.
but when people start coming, they're gonna say, well, wait a minute, why am I being, because I'm new, I'm being treated differently?
And that, when we get to that, that will be addressed to them. It has nothing to them being new. We are a growing community, and we have to grow with the generation. I'm the youngest on this board, and as my generation grows and we're buying houses, we're not buying houses that, you know, were built in 1985. We're buying houses that are being built of this present day. So if we're going by what the state wants, so should Montora for its new residents. And I think new residents should pay a little bit more, because if you're putting a beautiful home, you want your road and your ditch to be maintained. This is where we make it happen.
And again, the reason is because we don't want to go into people's pockets and take those taxes or increase taxes, which haven't been increased in 18 years.
So let me ask you, Herminio, can you get to the board what it actually costs to make this process happen? I'd like to see a dollar amount.
To make which process?
This whole process right here, from cradle to grave, it costs us,
What's the cost of the driveway permitting program?
the whole
on an
process.
annual
The
basis?
To sell the permit, to go put the elevations.
Right,
Exactly, I wanna know the whole.
you calculate the manpower, see what the program, that's a fair question, what does the
Right.
program cost?
Absolutely. And inspection,
It could be
inspection
that-
and re-inspection, because you have to go put the stakes,
Right.
and you have to drive back and use your manpower.
But we
to go
also
inspect
we
it.
also have to keep in mind that we are certified by our engineers.
Sure.
Mhm.
So, for example, if Bennett is the one who has to go out there and do the work, it will be how much?
It's a whole
Mr.
different,
Bennett, I
that's
think we
a,
talked about
that's
like
a whole different number.
3 years ago, you,
Oh, we have to set the elevation.
right, and all that stuff.
Can't remember.
Yeah, that's a
I
different.
think it was $150
Right.
just to set the elevation, and then it was another fee to go back and
So,
you know, that's a saving for our residents,
You are-
which is a good thing, so we also have to keep that in mind, because that's,
It's a balance.
I think Mr. Bennett here, I mean, I don't wanna, Mr. Bennett, $300 is what you were charging to do, right of ways. It was about $300.
no.
Inspection and
no,
re-inspection.
no. I mean, when I started all over here, I'm sorry.
What we're doing now, we're training the Central County engineers to stake it. So
Yes,
all
we
know.
Correct. So you don't have to- But if you would've had to come out here,
Yeah.
it would've been about $300 to inspect it and re-inspect it.
So let's,
I don't know if
He's
we-
driving a brand new pickup truck.
Oh, on court, we've done inspection.
we're gonna do this on the PPP, everybody get it.
Mr. Mata, at the end of the day.
I'm trying to beat 2 hours, boy, come on now.
Here's the thing.
Work with me.
We're trying to squash out the beginning of the year. It's the most
So-
difficult part.
So what do we have on the table so we can go forward?
$100, sir.
So we have a motion on the floor for $100.
Is that $100? Wait a minute, because you guys have to a lot of stuff. Is that $100 for new
Permits.
permits? Okay, so let's say, for example, somebody that wants to do a brand new house under existing permit, is that count too or not? Because that is a new permit.
This
That's
is
a-
where you
that's
get
a-
into, when you create classes, you.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
No, I would say $100 straight for everybody.
Alright, so we have a motion on the floor for 100 for everybody. Do we have a second?
I think we can go ahead and visit that next year as well.
Do we have a second? As I'm asking. Do we have a
Next
second on
month,
the
you mean?
floor?
Next,
Alright, motion does not carry, motion does not, do we have another option on the floor?
again, going forward with the taxes and all that, to save the people from Montura money, my motion is 125 flat for everybody going forward.
We have a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Nay. Motion does not carry. Do we have another motion on the floor? All right, let's go ahead. That gets off the floor. Nothing, everything stays the same. Residents, everything stays the same till we figure it out. All right, now I'm going on to C.
Emilio's gonna go cost out the program, so
Right.
that you guys
Sure.
know what that is.
Sure. Discuss and vote on Supervisor Alvarez's proposal.
So this was, wish Benny was here. He had gotten a proposal last month to have, I don't remember the name of the company that does work for water control districts. Becky, do you recall the name of the company?
Which one?
That Benny brought a proposal last month.
The proposal's there on the, in your, under where it says old and new business in your binder. The proposal's there.
Here it is, okay. Underwood Management, that's it. So, talking about taxes.
Sure,
What to do in the future.
sure,
Benny had asked Underwood Management, they do a lot of work for water control districts,
sure.
to come up with a proposal where they were gonna look at what other water control districts were doing in terms of taxes and revenue. They were gonna look at Flagpole, Pioneer, La Deca, they were gonna look at City of Clewiston, City of LaBelle, and they were gonna write a report, doing a comparative analysis of Central County Water Control District revenue and service level expenditures. And they were gonna look at I think they were also gonna look at what the taxpayers in Montura give to Hendry County and what they get back from Hendry County. It's, the cost of the proposal was, $7,500. Isn't that on here? Yeah, this is yeah, there was a contract that went with it.
Sure.
Anyways, and what I had said is you can't put these things on at the last minute. It has to be on the agenda, publicly noticed, so now it is. I think it's a good proposal, and this unfortunately is not the whole thing. There's a couple of pages, there's many.
Yeah, there's a exhibit A
Yeah.
proposal that goes with it.
So let's bypass this to next meeting?
So, Becky, so
I'm here.
they're just gonna table it, so just carry it forward to the next.
But also, Mr. Primero, while we're talking about this, is there any way that you can start talks with the Hendry County? I'm not speaking on behalf of the board, but I want the board to hear this as well. My 2 cents, we have been as a community very generous to Hendry County. We have given them a lot of our tax-based money, goes to Hendry County. And as we're growing, we really need to start seeing the fruits of our labor come back into our community. So is there any way, if the board agrees, that we could start that process with the discussions to see what we can do to get some of this revenue back to come into our community?
Well, I think that's what Penny was trying to, because you can come to them and say, hey, I think I give you more money than I get
Sure,
back, but you gotta
can we
have
start
facts
these
and
talks?
figures.
Sure, but can we start these talks with their attorneys and with them to let them know, hey, we're starting to do our due diligence.
Yeah.
We'll be preparing something for you, because we really need to start addressing this here in the near future. It might be a process of time.
Yeah, because I really do think we're gonna have to arm ourselves with.
I think we're shovel ready.
information.
So what percentage did they take away from us?
Nobody, I don't know.
Because,
Nobody's looked at that.
somebody
You have
told
to-
me 80%, somebody told me 75%.
And you know where they pulled that from? That's,
I have
we
no
need to, somebody needs to analyze it. Someone with a financial background.
Sure.
That's a very good question.
Very good
And I'm sure people have lots of theories. We get 20%, but I've never seen.
But
Somebody told me every $100, they really take like $80, and we take $20.
I doubt anyone's ever.
How much-
That sounds like
How much
common.
do we pay? How much do we pay them in taxes?
It depends who you are and what you have.
No, that's not really accurate, because,
I don't think so.
I mean, if you have a brand new concrete house of 6 bedrooms, you're gonna be paying like $3,000 in taxes to Hendry County, but it's only 220 that comes over here. So that's not even a 0.1%.
Can we?
The sources came from you, sir.
Huh?
You were the one that told me of every $100, $20 come to us. How many dollars come to the county?
Every $100.
Yes.
That's all right. We'll get to it. Can we agree to have Mr. Romero start these talks with the county? So because again, we need to start it. We need to.
I make a motion for it.
Well, you don't really need to make a motion.
I'll call the county attorney. Ultimately, it's really gonna be the county going to meet with the county commissioner.
Sure. But just to let,
Attorneys, we can talk, but
yeah, but just to give a heads up, hey, by the way, this will be happening in the near future. We really need to sit down there because as you can tell, we have a lot to take care of.
And I really think this, Underwood, take a look at it, because I think it's gonna give us some of the ammunition. So when you go talk to a commissioner, you say, we did look at how much money comes in from the tax base.
There's, right on the podium, there's a sheet that you, huh?
We can go 50-50 with that.
You might be able to squeeze it in after the regular dinner.
Because they're taking most of the money.
So that's what I'm saying, I think.
This issue has been going on between cities and counties for over 100 years.
Sure.
This is a classic issue.
Sure.
After Miami-Dade,
Right.
Palm Beach, they always say, we don't get what we put into the pot. That's
Agreed.
it's an age-old issue, it's a political.
Sure.
Well, one thing I want to ask, I hear you said, Black Hole, Radita, all those places, are those places, water controlled? I get it on.
There's a lot of these.
There's LaBelle water control, there's many water control
Fort
districts.
LaBelle.
There's over 1,000 in Florida.
I know, I didn't know Black Hole was a water district. What about family?
Yes, Pioneer Plantation Drainage District.
So, plenty different,
So Becky, if you can get that information to all of us, so we'll be ready for the next meeting, all the exhibits for this proposal that Mr. Alvarez will.
Yeah, I can make the copy. I have it on my desk.
Okay.
I think they want to wait for Benny to be here.
No, I'm saying so that they can have it, so they can take it with them,
Good idea, okay.
So-
and then they can review it.
So we'll move on to D, discuss and vote purchasing a dump truck. I believe, Ramiro, this might be in your court.
Yeah, well, this is, thanks to the feedback of a few board members, we were able to get we were able to add a dump truck to our fleet, so we can, go a little faster on the road. So if you guys want to make it official and go for it, that was the point.
Any questions from the board, Mr. Presidio? Any question?
yes, we already have the truck here.
Yes.
I looked at the truck the other day, it looks really good. I think it's a good one.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, what about with, E? E is a good one. E is a good one. I brought this up with the attorney, had a conference call with the attorney as well as our office staff. And with the discussion with him, again, we're not gonna make it rich, but as you can tell, there's a lot of people that come into our community. A lot of people like to enjoy themselves with a nice cup of coffee, nice breakfast or something.
Yes, sir.
And I was told many, many years ago, there was a person that used to do this in the clubhouse.
Oh, yes.
So I wanted to discuss with the board what the thoughts are, what your take is on E. And bring it up for conversation.
I think it's a good idea.
Through,
There you go.
thank you, sir. Through, the comments that I've heard, social media and on the streets as well, speaking to the residents. They come to me and they say, Rolly, by the way, when I was a young kid, we used to have pizza, we have a game room, we used to have, events going on in there, we had popcorns and this, that, and they would sell it, this and that. And I come to find out is like, when I started to run for the board, everything was told to me, no, you can't do this, no, because we're 298, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. Listen, at the end of the day, we have to figure out a way to please our residents, welcome them, make that clubhouse their second home. Okay, we're working on that pool, we're working on the park, we're making it as beautiful as possible for everybody to enjoy it. And we're having great people that are coming out here as investors to come out here and do better in our community. So my point of view, my opinion is that we need to figure out a way to make that clubhouse enjoyable for everyone in our community. And at the same time, if we can sell and have something out there that will benefit for our community, for our kids or our soccer teams, football teams, whatever it is, let's make it happen. Let's figure out a way to make it happen. That's my point of view on that one, okay?
To piggyback on that note, running running for Central County, a lot of the youth and younger generation was influenced on what I was presenting. And many don't know, but I do have an organization. And what my organization does in LaBelle, we have adapted to many other communities, such as Montora. And that's involving the youth into our community. Now being a part of the board, a lot of my constituents who voted for me were around 20, 25, 26 of age, 30, some elderly people as well. The thing with them is their biggest concern is there's nothing going on at the clubhouse. There's no event for us. There's no event for our age group. There's not this, there's not that. And I hear it day in and day out. I hear from parents, my kids don't have nothing to do. And me being the youngest on this board, I tackle that very dearly because I do have 10 siblings of my own. And being the oldest, it's one of my things because I have different age groups within my siblings. So I hear from my youngest, oh, I don't like doing that, I want to do something like this. I hear from my second, my brother who's under me, he says, hey, I like playing basketball, I want to do outside sports. And from my parents and my aunt and my other family, they want to do other activities such as bringing a food truck caravan. In LaBelle, every Monday, the second Monday of the month, they go to Barron Park, the biggest park in LaBelle, and they do a food truck caravan. Other local businesses in Clewiston, LaBelle, Lehigh Acres, they don't want to come here or do any business with Montour to help grow and develop our community because our heart that beats for Montour is that clubhouse. When you come down 833, you see Montour Ranch Estates. When you drive down that road, what's the first building you see? Our beating heart is that clubhouse. If our youth don't involve into our community, which is our beating heart, our community is not going to grow. And I can't influence that enough. And as I told the board, one of my biggest things is I like to get the youth involved. I bring a lot of the youth from here, my family. I also bring their friends. I also bring people from LaBelle, businesses from LaBelle, businesses from Clewiston. And the biggest thing that all of these businesses say is we love the community, we love the atmosphere, but we can't sell anything. We're not growing here. There's no point of us being here. And I hate to hear that. Because when I hear that, that means no one wants to develop here. No one wants to put anything here because our heart and our beating heart is our clubhouse. And with that being said, as a board member, I wasn't, and I don't know if any of you were briefed on any of the events of this year. Were the events given to you ahead of time, or did you find out last minute, the day of the event? And with that being said, this is just commentary from what I hear from the community. A lot of my generation is on social media. A lot of them, they don't look at the newspaper, they don't care to look at the TV. Everything they do is on this device. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. That is their beating heart. And they don't know about stuff until it's either posted on Facebook. They don't know about stuff until either, hey, bud, did you hear about this? No. Or in their group chat. And I can't emphasize on it enough is, as being the youngest board member, is I have people who are in charge of certain events or certain things that they like to do and like to bring to the community. As a board member, I wasn't notified of any of the events until I asked about it because there was a previous event that happened. And a few parents did call me because their biggest thing is they want me to bring new and great ideas for the youth to this community. And when I was contacted, I said, well, frankly, I didn't hear anything about it until I seen it on Facebook. And when I called her back up, I said, well, I did speak with the assistant manager and the manager. I have the calendar now. And she mentioned to me, she said, who's in charge of making this calendar? Who brings these ideas? And as I told her, I said, as the board, we serve at the pleasure of the community to those three things: roads, swells, and recreation. And that is the clubhouse. So if anyone in the community says, hey, I want to do a bingo night, and they have a group of people who wanted to have a bingo night, it is our job as the board to please them. And our manager serves at the pleasure of us. I wasn't briefed. I didn't know about anything on this calendar until I asked for it, or it was presented to me. A lot of the constituents and a lot of the community members are in an uproar because when they find out about things, it's either last minute or on Facebook. And as I like to say, I like to have feedback from the board. We're all different age groups. We all have different mindsets. You had the horse event that you did. I didn't know about that until it was on Facebook. I know that was pre or post-election, if I'm not mistaken. but I had a few younger kids who said, oh, I would have liked to go, but they didn't know about it. So I think we need to find a better system of getting our message across as one, and bring different ideas. Bring, the horse thing, or what every board member has their own agenda or their own thing that they want to bring to our community. Thank you, Becky. That they want to bring to our community, and I think the only way to do that is if we're speaking as one and not as different individuals.
Sure. So can we, appreciate it, hold on, John. Can we get back to this one? Appreciate that. Can we get
I
back?
want to make a comment.
Can you speak on that behalf, Mr. Primero? I know you stepped out for a minute, but about the clubhouse and funds and how that works and if we can do it and that kind of stuff. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So you could put out, you have to compete it. You can't just give it to
Sure.
Mr. X, but if you put out for competition, you can do what's called a concession to a particular person or company to operate a cafeteria. And you have to be real careful because anytime there's food handling, you have to meet all Department of Health regulations. You have to make sure that
As well as
you don't
liabilities,
unwittingly spend
insurances.
more money.
Right.
And the same thing with like Daniel was saying, I think I'm a big believer in social media as the primary means to communicate. And many cities now they have social media presence.
Sure.
When I came here, I created the website. We didn't even have a website, and that's our primary. But there's lots of things that could be done to get in. A lot of great things are happening here.
Sure.
We have to communicate that to people. Because if we do good things and it never gets communicated, then and so I think now we have to hire somebody. Just like with the website, I had to hire somebody to design it, and I think you upkeep it now because they have a new program that's easy to keep it on WordPress. But same thing with the social media. We have to bring someone to create social media pages, whether it's LinkedIn or we talked about Facebook. We've even talked about, and I have reserved it. I've reserved for Central County a YouTube channel.
We have it.
Yeah, right. And that's just happening with some of the districts I work with. Is now they are broadcasting meetings via YouTube. Because let's face it, COVID, it'll go away, but a lot of people now, the future is going to be, they want to watch their public meetings on their iPad. They want to have to drive somewhere. And they want to participate by pressing a button and providing public comment. I think that's a good thing to be talking about for the future.
With the food, for example, give us an example. How are we going to be able to handle if we want to bring in a food truck invasion to our clubhouse, an event? How are we going to be able to collect that money? Where's that money from, or anything like that? Or that's
So
something.
keep in mind, these food truck events, they don't make a penny. Nobody collects money. But when you talk about it, I have no idea, but I guarantee you, no food truck's gonna pay you a penny to show up. Because they're gonna be taking a risk to show up, and assuming enough people justify the gas and food that they stocked up on to take it over here.
But if
That's what you gotta.
if they would want to use our property, they would have to give us insurance certificates or anything like that going forward.
Yeah, that would be handled, but typically, you do that, and I'm not familiar with the one, but I guarantee they do it as a public service. They don't get a
Correct.
penny. If anything, they spend money trying to manage the event.
But if
It's
we want,
recreation, it's part of your mission.
but if we want to do it as a public service, for example, I'll say, one Friday night, you say, hey, food truck invasion in Montura at the clubhouse. Everybody's welcome to come out. Now, each individual one will have to give us their certificate.
Yeah.
We'll have to name us.
Before they have to.
Right.
They'll
have to
have
name
to
us.
show us their Department of Health certificate as well.
Check all the boxes off before they come
Someone got
outside.
sick.
But then again, we're gonna have to have somebody there to check as well.
That's the
And
whole
that's
thing.
more money that we
These
have to pay
programs
for that.
cost money, they
Cost
don't
us
make
money.
money. They're done as a running a league, baseball, soccer. It's a service you provide.
It's a service.
It doesn't make money.
Sure.
And I'll be honest with you, when you go look at the food service, there will never be enough volume of people buying food from a vendor there that will justify that vendor giving you more than a nominal amount of money. It's never gonna be a moneymaker.
So those people that want to do creative events and want to do events in here, they will have to speak directly to the director and get authorization from the director, and the director will have to receive their insurance and all that.
They have to meet the criteria.
I would like to make a comment.
Sure, bro.
I remember early 1980s, I used to go to Ventura, and there used to be a cafeteria right there in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
They sold really good kilo sandwiches, steak sandwiches.
It's called Minis. Isn't that what they
All
compare
types
it
of
to?
food.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people went there to eat food. They have like a social place there to run around. One thing I want to ask you, can we run that cafeteria ourselves, Santa County?
No. Absolutely not.
Because it'll be for profit, right?
Right, and
So we can get the funds from that cafeteria?
yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. Has anybody ever been to the South Florida Water Management District building?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they have a large cafeteria, it's 1,000 people that work in the building. Okay, I was the general counsel, we had one hell of a time. 1,000 people worked in the building, and those, we would put it out for bid, like 1 year Marriott concessions bid on it. We could never make enough money to justify it, so after a year, they'd say, see ya. We got a local restaurant that was down the street called Gun Club Cafe, it's been there forever. Great food, on Gun Club Road in West Jersey. They brought them in. It's very hard for these guys to be profitable, let alone you charging them. If you charge them $100 a month, you'd be lucky. So you really get those, they do those, like water management district, did it as a service to the employees. They never made a dime off it. It's very hard. You know, you can have a little sandwich shop. I can tell you a lot of places, they have to subsidize. Again, they do that for their employees. They subsidize the guy so he won't leave.
So if we have a cafeteria in the clubhouse, do we charge them in order for them to have a cafeteria there?
No, what I'm saying is, they won't ever make enough money so that you could charge them anything.
So one thing I want to ask, what is the purpose of having a cafeteria in the clubhouse?
For the community, for the kids to come in, eat pizza, have fun while they're eating, while they're a certain amount of time. In other words, we're gonna give it to somebody in the community, okay? We're gonna bid it out there and have somebody come in, set up their stand with all their licenses, insurance and everything, and they're gonna cook and sell to the community for the kids to come and all that, but we're giving that space to them on a lease amount, okay, and a written documentation to have our community give something extra to our community to look forward to come in. It's something that we're giving to them, to the community, just to come to the clubhouse. Not to go to Mary Lou's, buy all the stuff, then bring it to the clubhouse. You know, they could actually buy it there while they're
That's what it's
playing
gonna be.
basketball
You
and
do
all
it
that kind of stuff, as a service.
You're never gonna make money off it.
Okay, here's something that a few community members did mention to me. There's a few people here that they raise their own chickens, they harvest the eggs, there's a few people who sell flowers, there's some people who sell canned goods, stuff like that. Is it against the law as of Central County for them to be allowed to sell it on our property?
Hold on, Dave.
As in the parking lot?
Yeah, hold on, Dave. We're going into another avenue. Let's finish this one first, and then we'll answer that. I don't want to go from one tangent to another one. Let's hash this out. So, any more questions with the comment that Primero was saying, or anybody about?
I would like to ask something.
Sure.
Mr. Emilio. Yes. Emilio, can you give us your opinion about the cafeteria and clubhouse? Do you think that it's going to create a problem for your staff or for the clubhouse, or do you think it's a good idea?
Is it a good idea as a service for the community? Yes, it could be. That is going to create a problem for the employees. Dominguez is always around, so it's not. Depending on the hours, Like how much overtime you guys wanna pay for?
Okay.
Will be only open clubhouse hours.
Well, you guys haven't decided that.
Right,
You
right,
guys haven't-
if so,
Right,
it's just.
so I'm
we're not
just
taking
saying, if you guys decide to, let's say, open it until 9 for dinner, then an employee has to be there. So that will cost us
That's what
money.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
We
talking
talking
about.
about money that we have, the budget.
And of course, we always have the potential liability, even though that person has license and all that stuff, that food is coming out of the clubhouse, so that would be a question for Mr.
So you
Fuller.
guys
That's what I'm
want,
saying,
so
we
as a,
going tight, budget. We have the money to.
well, I think everybody in this board, when they ran, said they want everybody to utilize the clubhouse. That's what everybody said when they ran. I still remember what everybody said when they ran, that you want to utilize the clubhouse. If you want to get people to come to the clubhouse, how many people show up to the clubhouse, Arnold, in a week's time? Residents or visitors?
Visitors.
So if you want the residents to partake, we have to have something there for them. I'm just speaking in general.
But, I don't know, Hernandez, our residents go there to the clubhouse, every day.
To use the clubhouse.
You told me. Well,
Visitors, residents, pero, ¿cómo se dice?
Muchos residentes van a ir todos los días al clubhouse.
No, que hablan inglés.
No, I can speak.
English.
I work in the clubhouse for almost 5 years, or more than 5 years. And from Monday to Friday, nobody goes to the clubhouse. Now, Saturday and Sunday, yes, you get a little more people in there, you know, doing a little barbecue, stuff like that. That's on the weekend.
And that's
But Monday to Friday,
Aaron area.
I thought, Arnold told me a lot of people go there or 3 p.m.
To find someone that come on weekends, they have to buy equipment, buy
during
food.
the week,
Is there enough volume to support?
So here's my 2 cents so we don't beat this dead horse. If we want the community to say, if we want the community to come out to our clubhouse, we have to supply them with stuff to come, make it a reason for them to enjoy the clubhouse. If we don't have anything there, nobody's gonna show up. Just like Field of Dreams, you build it, they will come. Right? Montour, I don't know if you guys know, Montour is not the Montour from 5 years ago.
And one thing too is the big believer in walk before you run.
Sure.
Why don't you do food trucks? See how it works. It
Good.
can be amazing.
Sure.
And you'll have 100 people show up.
And the reason why I did mention that is because, as I said, my generation is all over Facebook.
Sure.
A while ago, there was a gentleman, he was here with his food truck. He wasn't on our property, he was across the street, because this is when I started diving deeper into this issue. A few people did concern is, he wanted to set up some tables, you know, a little bigger area than the curb, because he was working off the curb. Some people just order and they'll leave, or they'll go sit in their car, or go to the park and eat at the little benches. He did mention, a few citizens mentioned, why can't he be selling of the food on our parking lot a little bit closer to the park so that he can put up chairs and set stuff up? And the question that I did mention, that I did tell him was because of the knowledge that I was given, was that we weren't allowed to. But I dove deeper and dived into it. There was more to it than what was said.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that's something, as you said, I think we should start there. A lot of people like the idea of the food truck being here. They were very upset when he was told to leave. So my biggest thing is we do it the right way with the paperwork and, you know, the certifications and stuff like that, and allow that. I think we'll have a successful run because it's something that, you know, they're asking for, and it's not such a big step forward.
So again, there's one more thing, and I know a couple people want to say something, so we got to keep moving. Why don't we just put it out to the public, see if anybody wants to take? I think some people will take us up on our offer.
Absolutely. You may want to do a survey to ask people what they want.
And I'm pretty sure that truck, Big Eaters, that comes out here, I think they'll be one that come out
I
here.
think somebody will take
that's
us
the
up.
one that Daniel was talking about.
You want them? We'll invite them, they can come into a meeting and they could, you know, propose it or something like that, and
Sure.
correct me if I'm wrong, and we'll give them permission or anything like that, I mean, definitely.
The example you gave, who, you said it was Barron, what park?
Barron Park, out of LaBelle. The organization that oversees it is the gallery that's right across the street from Barron Park. I'm on a board over the Firehouse Community Theater. The president there is also the same president. I'll get all the information
Please.
to present to you.
Who owns the
But
park? Whose park is it?
it's the city of Lapel Park.
Sure.
And every, I think it's once a month on a Monday, they go out there. When they first did it, the park was packed.
Sure.
But then, you know, due to COVID, it died down. But now I'm hearing that they're building up, and the food trucks, they bring a lot of, you know, newer people from that come all the way from Lehigh, Glades County,
Sure.
and they said we love the food, and they go there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that there is something that the food trucks do give to the city as well as the organization. So you know, that's something that we can benefit off of as a community for our clubhouse. You know, we can use that to help increase our clubhouse.
Okay, so are we gonna have a motion on the floor for this, or are we just going to table this, or, should we survey it to see who will come out to partake? Because I think this right here on the weekends, the way I see it happening in Montour, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this place is jumping.
Yeah.
This place is jumping.
We find who actually the city of Bell's overseeing that, we can share with us information.
So as the board, you guys wanna table this, or what do you wanna do?
We'll table it, and we'll see whoever wants to come out and present themselves here.
We'll table it. Josh, you had a question?
It's already over now.
Ms. Hitchman?
Alright, Hitchman, you have a question, Mr. Aaron?
I was just gonna say, you could, if you wanted to not charge them and charge like 10%, you know, being like a percentage of what they make, you could do that if you wanted to make, you're not gonna make money on it, but if you want to have some sort of buy-in. But, I agree that we own restaurants for 10 years, and it's not cheap to renovate your building.
Sure.
To prepare for that big price, it's totally what it's all about.
Sure,
And
sure.
There's so many of them out there, you can definitely.
But here, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, when all the visitors and all the people from, I love my wife's cooking, but not 7 days a week. I love options. She loves options. She don't like to be cooking 7 days a week. But that gives us an opportunity to see Josh. Hey, I ain't seen you in a while. Gives the opportunity. Here's what we really need as a community is to bond together. Bond together. And as he said, the heartbeat, right? What better place to hang out than at the clubhouse? We have tons of room in that parking lot, right?
We're gonna play some dominoes.
Exactly.
I've been listening that you wanna use a domino table.
I have a domino table at the house. It does look good at our houses. We can take it over. So again, let's look at that, how a certain, if you lay now, John.
I remember now.
Oh, you remember? Go ahead.
Real quick, I mean, like what Daniel was saying, years ago, they're saying, yeah, I've been here for 40 years. Clubhouse was the heart of it, honestly.
Sure.
I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel like over the years, this board has stepped away from the kids, honestly.
This board or the previous board?
No, I'm talking about far as Central County's board, not this previous board, but I'm talking about the past. They have stepped away from the kids. There used to be a lot of things for kids. We were just talking about it as far as the community getting together. Because there's what, basketball and soccer, that's it, right now at this point, right?
No,
Is there any baseball teams, anything like that going on?
there's basketball, there's Valentine, there's soccer.
No, I'm talking about sports, I'm talking about sports. Well, there was only the two, right? And then, exactly, so there was a lot of kids that want to do like kickball, so forth on. So there's a group of us actually coming together, we want to do a co-ed, adults, kids, all together wants to do this.
Yeah.
We're stepping away from the kids, and it's always been about the kids. Everything here that we've ever done in the past has been about the kids. If we involve the kids and give kids something to do, the crime that we're seeing now might dissipate down.
Absolutely.
Because we're giving them something to do. I mean, and it's really got to that point.
I agree with you that we have to take care of the kids.
Right.
Also, the old guys, hey, we the old guys, we have the right too. Hey,
But I mean,
I've been listening to you, I've been listening to Donnie, talking about the young people, okay?
right. And I mean, and don't get me wrong.
Also have some room in there to do our thing.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I know Flacco and that group, they've tried to do movie night, they try to do a lot of things. And a lot of people's not showed up. I mean, I get that, but there is a lot of, for sports so forth on, we've really stepped away from that. And I challenge everybody on this board, to make this happen and try to do some more for the
No, I
kids.
challenge the community.
Well, yeah, I agree with you.
Community. We represent the community. The community, as you can see, this is what we're doing it for. We're doing it for the community.
Because I remember it was they tried to do like a uniform thing or whatever years ago,
So,
and the board denied it. They wouldn't want to do it because they don't want to pay for uniforms. It was like $50.
I was trying to do a baseball league.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was denied, I was asked to purchase my own insurance.
you're talking about way back board. You're talking about this.
Oh,
board. You're talking about way
We're in
back.
2020.
Yeah.
We're in 24.
Present it again.
And I was doing
Come on,
it for
present
free.
it.
Thank you, Josh.
Present it again.
My wife volunteered herself for tutoring at the clubhouse. She has 28 kids and in 30 days, they call me and they say, hey, your wife cannot do tutoring in the clubhouse no more. She has to buy her own insurance.
So I think everybody understands, being on the board now, I can understand why they did it back then, because everything that you do is a liability. So you have to do the risk and the reward. And I've heard you say many times, it's a liability, correct?
But what's the difference between them doing that and having a basketball thing
The great
there?
thing, this board doesn't have the answer.
You can't just, I know what you're right, I'm just saying in general.
Sure.
If you bring someone in and they're out of the goodness of their heart and a child gets molested, this is shut down. This game is over. So you have to go vet them, you have to do background checks. You can't just let people come on.
No, but
notwithstanding
here
the
is
That's
goodness.
for
here
doing
is the
the
funny
things.
thing. At that moment, my wife has a fingerprint screen by handicapping, and also by Central County because she was a consulate.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with that, I'm just saying in general.
So we don't beat this thing too much. Let's go.
And also, like the reservoir, maybe form.
They charge like $80.
We're trying, brother. We're trying.
Yeah, it's in the process.
Is Josh
You're
allowed?
we're going forward. We done did like 20 minutes on this discussion. So we're gonna table that. Becky, can you get surveys to see food trucks or anybody that would like to help with this in the community? It'd probably be a love offering. And again, there's a lot of good people in this community that would donate to make it happen. I'm pretty sure we can find people like Mr. Santana to donate a couple $100. Rodriguez.
We just have done, we should.
Hey, you got me in, brother. I'll donate. You got
the
me
Lord
in.
Gonzalez.
We can do roasted corn, brother. Roasted corn, Mexican corn, love it. I love this. We can do whatever. I'm down for anything to start. I want this thing to catch fire and grow. I want us to enjoy our weekends together here as a community, which is at the heartbeat,
I'll do the Puerto
which is at our
Rican
clubhouse.
I'll bring somebody to bring
I
corn.
am no against having a cafeteria.
Sure.
I just hear all the sides.
That's why we have differences of opinion, differences of idea, and that's what makes us great here. Let's move forward. We don't have to discuss F, correct?
No.
Thank you. At this time, we have another public comment. This
Yes.
set up, Funky, please.
Yep.
If you could present yourself and let us know what we're talking.
Just follow up to last month.
Okay,
Um,
you have something to present to us?
wanted, this is the, this is what my architect drew up for me. He didn't really do a good job.
Oh my goodness, your architect doesn't do a
I
good
had to
job?
mark up the side.
Mr. Bennett, right?
Mr. Bennett?
Mr. Bennett is my engineer, that's what
I believe your architect is like me.
Okay, where he put there, you see from Avienda del Sur,
I see
del
it,
Club,
yeah.
where we would do the alleyway go in.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not gonna have a driveway, it would be just off the road, it would just drop off the road, just go straight, right? And,
You're talking about the one that's coming out to Avenida del Club?
yes, where the alleyway comes off there.
That 20-foot alleyway, 10 that belongs to you and 10 that belongs to the other side, right?
Well, it
doesn't belong.
belongs to the county.
Correct, the easement part, yes.
Yes.
I'm your.
So, to, improve on the alleyway straight down to the canal, and then somebody wanted like a mound, to put the mound there at the end, right there at the line, where you see the canal.
Yes, right here?
Yes. Yeah, right there at the
Okay.
end, we would put a mound, and then on my property, I would do either the mound all the way up or fence with landscape, like trees on top of the mound, like some palm trees or something.
So like you go into Arden, some of the projects like you go to Naples where you can't really see in the community, it's got like have like a mound with some vegetation.
Not that big.
I understand, but still.
You exceeded a little bit here. All I asked was for a swell, like a mound, you know, it's like a swell type of mound.
Yes, a swell, that's
Okay.
what we would do.
I just
as a
wanted
swell.
something small so the cars won't fall into the canal.
Exactly.
But I think you went a little bit further, okay?
Well, I want the swell, my architect was the one that got really happy, and he put all kind of trees there.
I see that.
He put the trees in the alleyway, the trees supposed to go at the end of the line.
I understand.
So we would do some pretty landscaping there, a little swell and some landscaping.
Hey, man, let me ask you something. This is in front of Malibu store, right?
Yes.
Now that one was right
No,
here.
it's in, no,
It's a-
there's
That
a,
one's right?
Yes, sir. Area starts here, across the street, right on Holt, right beside it.
Oh, right behind?
Beside it. 833, just 833.
Yeah, behind,
we're on the side. And there's a vacant lot in between.
We don't really have to vote, we just need to get with our district manager as well as Mr. Bennett on this alleyway that belongs to us, correct, this alleyway? And what's your opinion about cleaning this alleyway, Mr. Bennett? Is this something that we can do, or what's your advice on this?
Whatever the board decides, but, we haven't completed the site
Survey?
plan. We've surveyed it, and our architect has come up with the building sizes and all now. So we have to complete the actual site plan and the parking and the traffic design and traffic circulation. So
Ms. Plunkett, let me ask you something.
if we get that, we'll bring something back.
I'm seeing two structures here. Is this been approved, or you in the process, which I'm glad?
This is just a rough drawing, like Mr.
Sure.
Bennett
Okay.
said. This is what we're going to use to do the traffic study and everything,
Sure.
this building,
Okay,
septic, everything.
understood, okay.
So this is not, so one of the other things that I was asking while you guys are doing stuff with the soils and the waterway is there's a, I don't know if you know, there's a little bridge right there beside, in between that, they had a property beside me. There's a bridge that has trees growing out of it, where it's supposed to be a waterway under to the other side of the road. And there's some big trees growing out of it. That needs to
She's
be
talking
cleaned
about-
out.
833.
833 to the
Across
side.
at 833, all that is wetland next to her.
Sure.
On this side.
Yeah, up in this area right
Right.
here, yes.
Yeah, but on right here between my land and the other fellow land, there is a bridge.
Understood.
And
that what-
the trees need to be cleaned out of that bridge,
What is what you want?
so the water can
So
flow.
how are you gonna be able to get in there? Through the bridge? How are we gonna be able to in and out?
Right here, brother.
No, that bridge is the bridge going over 833.
No, it goes to get into your property. How would you?
Right here, here's my driveway.
So that's your bridge?
Yeah, I have a bridge too,
Okay.
but I'm talking about the bridge you have now.
So there's a bridge, there's
Hey,
a
we
bridge
didn't
on
clean that bridge, man.
There's a
Going
bridge
from
right here.
833 this
But
way.
it's
That needs to stay on Hildyard's brother's
833 block.
property.
What is what you want?
And the Nicos.
To approve developing the alleyway, gravel or asphalt, anything. And then when we go out here, we're gonna have a
I'm making motion to
little
approve.
motion to
We don't
approve
have a
developing
site.
the alleyway.
You don't have a, you don't know what you're approving, you gotta have a site plan. When will you have the site plan?
We'll probably have it by next meeting.
Okay, so let him present a site plan to us, then you can approve that.
Okay.
But you was.
Yeah, but we wanna know,
This-
can we put this on the site plan? Can we put the proposal on the site plan? Because then I would have to come back with the site plan before we take it to the county, so you guys can approve it before I go to the county.
Okay, so on the last meeting,
Ask the staff.
Thank you,
to
thank you.
tell
I'm gonna go there.
on the last meeting, her proposal was, she offered the board to clean up the alley so she can use the alley for her construction
Access.
of her side, right?
Temporary construction.
Temporary
access.
construction of her side, that's what she's asking for.
That's
Now,
right.
you guys can either, that's when Fumero says, well, that's a license, we can take it out or leave it in. So you guys can either approve access of that alley for her to do her cleaning and constructions and all that stuff. And then after that, you guys can review if you want, if she can, develop that alley into a road or.
I make a motion to approve it.
So,
But she's asking so she can use that alley
At this point.
That's what I understood.
to.
So
She
after-
said that the last meeting.
So after her final, after she receives the final, if we approve it now, after she receives her final, then we can come back and visit, granting her permission in and out.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, it won't be a final because the county's gonna flag it and say, you don't own that.
Yes.
Then the county's gonna tell her, we want Central County to say it's okay for you to do
Right.
what you're proposing on your
Okay.
site plan. That's why you first have to have a site plan. And then you're gonna come here and we'll, if you want to, we can give Hendry, we can say to Hendry County, we don't have an objection, then Hendry County will give her a final approved site plan. And what we can give her, I'm gonna go over this in my report, is I came up with
It's a quick.
they call it a revocable, license, so that if someone wants, because we had a couple other people wanting to use right of way.
Sure.
And you guys said, that's fine. And so we issued them this revocable encroachment permit. I was gonna go over with the data,
Sure. Sounds
so that then
right for the
people come like
situation.
this, we can say, sure, if you want, it's up to you.
Sure.
And we issue her this piece of paper, nice and official, and she goes to the county. They look at it and they go, okay, and they approve her site plan.
I make a motion to approve.
So we can go ahead and.
So what do we need to do, John? Let's readvise.
Site plan first.
I'd like to see a site plan.
But she's asking right now,
This is a cartoon drawing. This is,
but she's asking right now,
I know the dimensions of this, you know the height of the mound.
but she's asking now, access to drive,
I think we heard that last, they don't have an objection.
Yes,
But to give you a permit to use that area, you need a site plan. Like the mound, the landscaping, what's the elevation, what's the width, is it a 3 to 1 site?
she's asking now for access to her place. Access to her
to
place.
my place,
You
before,
want all right, a temporary
a temporary access.
construction access.
In order to work in her place.
Yes.
Okay.
But still,
So-
you don't have a site plan yet.
I don't have a site
It's not
plan.
even drafted.
So it's not even drafted, so you can't even go in there to do nothing yet.
You're months away from me.
They're from Cortland.
So we wanna make sure that she does
I
things
think
right
they're
correctly,
putting the
because I
cart
don't want
before
her.
the
Yeah,
horse.
but I am asking ahead of time, so when my, permit is ready, say Mr. Bennett got it done next week, you guys don't meet again for another
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, but
So
you-
I want it to be on the table right now,
And I think you've heard from them in concept,
yes,
because this is a concept, it's not a plan, that they're okay with.
okay.
And when you're honestly, I'm guessing a couple of months away from having an approved site.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll have multiple meetings between now and then. But I think what you're hearing them say is, in concept, they're supportive of what
Okay,
you're saying.
okay,
So that means that you can have access.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'm hearing two different. One thing is temporary construction access. That's easy. Another thing is having permanent access.
Right, so what happened on the last meeting is exactly what Fumero was saying. She asked for a temporary access so she can get into her property through that side and not being
Not coming
through
out.
833.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
And then after she
This is
finished
not
with everything,
temporary. This is permanent.
right, after she finished with everything, you guys will go back to the alley and say, okay, no, we don't want, or yes, that's awesome, you can develop that 200 feet.
So right now, it's a public access, right?
Yes.
She can go right through.
No, no, no.
It's public.
We have to approve, we have to approve.
Not only,
So she can't operate.
it belongs to Central County. Central County has.
So I can't drive my car, I can't drive my car to her property now?
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to legally. You can do anything you want to.
You can't drive your car because there is
You're not gonna get
trees in that
fined.
alleyway.
They're
That's
trees.
what I was asking to clean. There's big,
It's an alley that has never been clear or anything like that.
yes, and it's all alleyways. So you wouldn't be able to go there.
When they do the alley, see the fill
We oversee that alley, right? Mr. Henio, we oversee that alley, right, Mr. Bennett? We oversee that alley. right?
What liability do we have if we give her permission to go ahead and clean it? And something happens?
No, we have no,
complete.
Yes.
Okay, have
100%.
If equipment operator injures themselves, we're the property owner, we're liable. That's why you've got to take these things slowly. There's gonna have to be, we're gonna have to be named as an additional insured in our policy. Just,
So we can tell her, if she happens to have any person working in there cleaning up,
Everybody
they have to
else
have
have
insurance.
insurance.
And show the certificate of insurance. That's it.
We'll do that. And she's ready. She's not ready yet.
Okay.
Ms. Look, I would suggest that you
So
work.
no temporary access. I have to have the site plan before.
I think we,
We even have a site plan, okay, just a draft site plan. This is a Crayola, which is not a site plan. We need a real site plan showing dimensions, how much, 5 feet, 10 feet, what kind of landscaping. You have to have a real plan. You know what I'm talking about. Just-
In other words, we're gonna work with you.
Yes,
We're gonna
you've
help.
already heard that.
We're gonna
We're
work with
gonna
you.
work with you. They love what you're doing.
We love your idea.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna
I
happen.
just gotta get,
We just
get to
gotta
that
do it
point.
in
Okay.
order. Right.
All right.
They love it. They love what
if
you're
you
doing.
have any questions, I'm pretty sure you can get with the district manager and he can email the right people
And honestly, before you show up the next time, work with these two, and they'll get them ready.
Well, let me ask you something. You said you're gonna have a cafeteria.
I'm gonna have a deli and a little kitchen and deli. Yeah.
So what
so
like the food you gonna have?
I'm gonna sell, food, chicken, oxtail, beef, everything. Hot food.
I'm gonna be a good client for you.
Okay.
I love it.
Hot food.
Thank you, Ms. Plunkett.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you coming out. Going from 4, we're going to 5. Where's that at?
Reports.
There, ready? She didn't let me put it in.
Can we get some supervisor?
Supposed to be born at the end of the color, so nobody can drive all the way to the canal.
Yeah.
Right now, you can drive all the way through there to that canal.
So we go to staff report, district
Somebody
manager, please.
drove there, they could just drive straight to the canal.
As you guys can see, the conference room is done.
Great job, man.
It's not only for a few of us, everybody works over here because we will bring in, depending on what was the
Sure.
priority out there.
Sure. I wanna mention something.
Yes.
Many times I pass by here, I saw the many working here, all sweaty and all that, working with
I appreciate it, but trust me, my employees are the best I have.
I saw you working here.
Go ahead, you ain't got nothing else?
This was a great team effort.
Sure.
Love the suggestions.
So it just is, as a little detail, what we have done over here is not less than $25,000 on labor. So,
And you do it with your employees.
yes.
So you said you sent the county.
We doing it with our employees.
That's what I'm saying.
It sounds different. But you're right, yeah, you're right. What I'm trying to say, there are also you guys employees.
You and your employees save Central County $25,000.
That's it. You got it right. We sold 67 permits.
For what?
Last month for, that's 67 permits through the year.
For what? What type of permit we talking about?
Driveway.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the only permit we sell. The boom mover is currently on Dale. We gotta stop it for a little bit on Dale. Montura Avenue is almost done, all the way from Cabbage Palm. On every single road we went in, some of them were already done. We just did a little repair. We are on Strigo right now, which has been already finished today. When we get to Arboleda, we're gonna stop there. We gotta get out there and get some emergencies that we have. And right after that, we'll go back to the hunting club and start all the way from that point all the way to the west. And do the same thing we did with Montura. Thank you for the other one. The trash pickup in Montura is being increasing big time, especially with semi-tires and regular tires. So just so you have an idea.
Illegal dumping?
Yes,
Illegal dumping?
illegal dumping. We've been picking up anything from 30 to 40 tires daily. So,
What type of tires? Normal?
80% of them are semi-tires and the other ones are regular lightweight truck tires or just regular tires.
Understood.
Yes. The maintenance of the clubhouse is almost done. We only got the little pond fence to paint and ramp to the clubhouse.
Sure.
The pool at the clubhouse is already on the way. We gotta stop it there for a little bit because Henry County is not sure if we have to put a permit or not.
Understood.
So we just, Mr. Bennett is gonna get with the engineer.
Appreciate it.
So if they don't know what they need to do, at least to give us an email or something.
Sure.
So we have no problem in the future to keep going.
Good.
And then when they figure out how much we gotta pay or how
Sure.
the permit is going, we just.
Is that because we invited them over here to the clubhouse to do the animal meeting, or that's how they know?
Sorry?
Is
No,
that how
that's
it is?
because we don't wanna get any trouble, so we
Okay.
Sure.
ask for it.
Thank you.
The roof, the guys came to the clubhouse to measure it and everything. And then I think they already got, in touch with Mr. Bennett for the plans and all that stuff to put the permit right now?
Yeah.
Okay. The Valentine's Day drive-through was a disaster, unfortunately. Only 5 cars drive through.
Understood.
The baseball fields. The baseball fields, back in the years when I started in the clubhouse, as everybody knows, I'm a baseball lover, so
Yes, sir.
I tried many times to get equipment and, keep up with the baseball field.
Sure.
The answer was always no. To the point where they told me, no, if you want to do it by hand, you go ahead. So as you can see, I didn't. Because
What?
the baseball field
Yeah,
is,
this is Kevin Costner, man. Did it. The old time.
the baseball field is gone. There is no baseball field.
Understood.
I tried to keep up with it as much as I could, but it's impossible by hand.
Okay.
So all I was asking was a little total 3 wheels, used $3,000, and it was never given to me all to the clubhouse.
Sure, sure.
I want to bring that baseball field back. So I was going to ask Mr. Bennett, and I'm sorry I didn't ask you this before, I completely forgot about it. I know we worked on it once before and you did some draws for me and I went into the websites and this and that. My question is, do we need permit to build a brand new baseball field? Which we don't need labor, any of that. We can provide all that.
Can we use the
But
word
do we
restore?
need-
Exactly.
Can we use
It's
the,
how
can we
you
use
ask
the
the
word
question.
restore? Can we
You're
use the
not
word?
building a new.
No, you're not building, we're restoring. The key word is restoring.
Well, we were restoring the pool and
That is CBS, okay, that's
I don't
CBS.
wanna be in trouble.
Restore the land, restore the land.
But we're restoring the roof and the land and everything else.
Restoring Montour.
No, no reconstructing, nothing, no construction word in it. Restoring.
Keep going, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm taking Mr. Mara's word. I wanna be able to bring the baseball bat, which I tried once already.
Sure.
And you guys already know what I was told from the board. This is a whole new
Board.
era now. So, if we are able to bring that baseball field back, which I will,
Sure.
what would be the maybe of doing a baseball league in Montura?
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
You ready?
Or a baseball league at the clubhouse?
You ready for that? It would, first of all, we'd have to look to our attorney, because the most important thing you already know is liability, that kind of stuff. So, John, if you could probably.
You can do it, of course. I mean, this is recreation. The Montura Marauders, it's already a name.
Look at that. Look at that.
We already have our insurance will cover that with our umbrella, because we're agreeing.
You're gonna have to buy.
Who buys, if it belongs to Montreal? Or the kids, once they sign up, a portion of that
So-
sign up goes to the insurance?
So, just like all of us, I used to play baseball.
I play baseball with
Sign a
that.
waiver,
Sure.
okay? But we're also gonna work with our insurance guy, because there's gonna be an insurance rider for having these kind of sports, but it's what recreation
That's
is all
simple,
about.
Remedial.
You can make it happen, go ahead.
No, wait a minute. The last time for me to have 58 kids practicing on that field by myself, come out with $750 out of my pocket.
Maybe the meeting,
Mr. Santana's gonna be the host.
So I believe, like we said earlier, you start something like this, the community and businesses and everybody will help out.
Absolutely.
Everybody will help out and get involved.
Let's make a motion.
To get success.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing all these up is because when I did it, because I did it, I got 58 kids on that in less than 2 weeks. It was 58 kids. I didn't have no help.
I help you out.
None of the parents want to participate, none of that. I didn't care. I went through it either way with my wife. Thank God she's my wife.
Yeah, man.
So, I really don't want to spend another $750 out of my pocket.
I thought we paid you enough.
Later on,
Just give you a raise.
no. I'm gonna be shut down by whatever reason, and then I lost another
Hey, we did a
$700.
meeting, you have it to raise, I know you love it.
That's 700, that raise you just gave.
I'm trying to work with Mr. Swindle. I've had some comments with Mr. Swindle regarding that as well for baseball.
At that moment, just so you know, I passed, I asked to a lot of different businesses, including the only one business that's in Montura, and nobody wants to do a penny. So,
I think with
you know,
the.
I know what you're talking about, but it sounds good on words, but not that easy, trust me. I've been in trouble things.
But I said Mr. Swindle, I haven't finished.
Here, you got 400 a year.
Really, you want to have a lot of money, hey.
So, you know, I can do it again.
Again, I reached out to Mr. Swindle to see, you said we need help and hands and all that, to see if we could create a program here in Montura for the kids that need to do their community graduating hours to come to Montura in the sports events area. So once we start creating that, they can come in and do their community hours here in Montura for their graduation as well. I'm working on.
I also went through that 3 times. The last time Denise asked me to do it and I said no more. Denise did it.
But I'm
And she couldn't make it either.
dealing with Mr. Swindle now.
All right.
And I'm gonna, I
Let's
reached
not
out to him out
forget,
there.
let's not forget that you got Denise
What is
needs
it? What is it you need?
So you might end up on the.
What is it?
That's what we need. We need council to tell us what we need. John, any issues, any comments, any concerns?
It's all good. You have to jump through some hoops, but it's
So, Herminio, can you reach out?
I love you, Ronnie. I was just kidding, man.
Can you reach out to the baseball league to see what we can do to be a part of it going forward?
Where do I
And
see
Mr. John, if there's certain legal things that we need to figure out.
Okay, so the bank,
It's there.
in town.
Yes, sir,
I
that's
just
what
gave
you're talking
it to
about, right? Us being a part
You
of
have
it.
the
Yeah.
same sheet.
Oh, no, I don't wanna be part of it.
Okay.
We want to have our own.
So this
We
was-
wanna, I want to create our own league,
On league or on team?
our, that depends,
Okay.
that depends.
I'm trying to get your vision, bro.
Okay, so let's say,
You have both.
you can create a team
18 and 19.
and you can bring the entire team and put it into
So
a
this is
city
so
league.
far.
I understand.
You just gotta pay the whole
In your
amount.
binder. You have
That
in your
thing,
binder.
just like the reservation though.
Sure, sure.
We can do that, or we can try our league. I don't think the league is gonna be possible, because of the amount of kids in Honduras. But
What is it you need though? What is it you need? What's the is it the people or is it more so the cost?
I need volunteers, which I couldn't
Okay.
get any,
Okay.
but if I cannot get a
They need
volunteer,
background
and
checks.
we reach that much,
So the biggest issue that
Right
you
there,
need
look
from
at
us is approval of having other volunteers come in?
Woodbucker.
Is that what you need or is it,
no, I don't have no problem. I mean, you guys don't have to vote for volunteers.
what do you
But I
want, what
want
do
you
you
guys-
need from the board?
Okay. If we get, exactly, if we get to that point where we get 3 teams, for example.
Okay.
We're gonna
You
have,
want the board to pay for that? Is that what you're saying?
I want the board to throw some money in there for the coaches, as a contractors or counselors, or
Okay.
how, the same thing we do for the counselors. There are, and equipment.
Umpires.
Uniforms.
Equipment, I don't need it.
Umpires.
Equipment, I don't need it. I
can
can
be
buy
a part.
that. But, when you're talking about coaches and putting a lot of time into it, they're gonna be like seasoning job positions, just like the consul. Because the last time I tried to do it, everybody was telling me, nah, I'm not doing that, I need to get paid for that. So, nobody has the same mentality.
Well, we have to go to the, also, I'm sorry to interrupt, the parents or the coaches and all that kind of stuff, if they need to be on the field with the kids, they need to have that background. And,
No, that's a law.
what's it called?
Yeah, that's why I
SBA or
mentioned-
something like that, which I haven't.
That's why I mentioned just like the counselors, because every counselor that we ever had, you gotta go through background level 2. Yes.
So present everything that you need for us, make sure you check all the boxes that you have, and like to see a board, okay, we have that, Central County Board, we have that, Central County Board, we have this. And then we can start, once you position something, John, we can start reaching out to our local businesses. I'm pretty sure all of us can know somebody that can pitch in. And by the way, we're having shirts, we have hats, your logo will go on there, your advertisement will go on there. We can make it happen.
I make a motion to approve.
I'm pretty sure Ms. Punkett's
No,
gonna
no,
lose.
not yet. I had to, bring you something on right.
Josh, quick
I mean,
second.
I'll appreciate it, but I gotta show you guys exactly what we need.
I don't think you have any, you don't have any objections here on this side. Josh?
I think it's a great idea, but what's the difference? Why do they have to have insurance? I don't understand. What's the difference between that and somebody just going up there and playing on the field by themselves like they normally do? On the basketball court or
That's a good point.
at the pool or anything like that? Is it because that the board would be sponsoring kind of? Is that the reason?
Putting a league and a team together,
Right.
you're taking on that responsibility. And you're giving coaches, we're now doing it, so now we have responsibility.
Okay.
If someone jumps over my fence on my backyard and starts doing backflips and breaks his neck, that's That's not my responsibility. If I invite him to my backyard and said, let's start doing backflips and he gets hurt, it's my responsibility.
Right.
Anything else on your report?
Can
they just go play, you know?
The dome side.
Okay.
One of the board members asked for a report of the dome side.
Do we have that?
Yes, it's right on your.
It should be right in front with the other, with the permits and everything.
With all the million other papers I have?
Mm-hmm.
This, Mara.
Okay, I got it here. Thank
You
you.
got it? Okay, so, the board asked for a report on the dome side. We pulled everything. Becky asked a report from the waste office. And as you can see on the last page, since 2010, we have spent $500,000 on it.
2010?
Yes, sir. If you go to the last page, that's the final number.
So that's 10
It's actually from 2011.
Right.
It's from December of 2010 up to current, which was $484,000. In the last in the last 2.5 years, as you can see, I put the numbers together. It's 121 up on the top on your left-hand corner.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it'll be your right-hand corner.
So the more, yeah. So the big thing with the garbage is on the first page. Since me and Becky started over here, 2018, 19, and 20, we have spent $121,516 just on the dump side. But the main problem with the first page is this little spot over here. Okay, so last year, on the entire year, we spent $62,000, right? If you notice,
We're not even.
at the top of the page, just in 3 months of this new budget, we go into $32,000. Just in 3 months. So if we keep going the way we're going, we're gonna end up this year with $120,000 of garbage.
So again, I'm coming back and again, we're having more people coming into Montura, throwing more garbage away. I just want to put that out.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for it, I just.
To piggyback that, a couple of years ago, there was a board member on here that they all voted, closed.
Yep.
And what was happening was, people got peed off, and they were going to empty lots and dumping. And there is a service that is it still Waste Management, Becky, or a new?
Waste Connections.
Waste Connection, that once a month, every city, every place has it, where once a month, you put it in front of your yard and they pick it up.
Yep.
Well, that's a service that they still provide for us. He pushed on making sure everybody, hey, once a month, hey, put it in front of your yard, they'll pick it up. I don't know if they were doing it or not at that time, because I wasn't a board member, but that was something that we paid for that is still, that
It's
they
on
can
our
get.
taxes.
So what I have done because of this issue coming up, when the garbage guys came, I said, do you guys have a calendar? They said, no, usually that's up to the whoever we pick up trash, they make the schedule and we go buy it. Because it's a whole different truck that comes out there that has to pick it up. They said Montura's the only one. Yes, they said Montura's the only one that hasn't presented them a schedule, so they don't go. They said we just pick up trash. So I set them up. I put all this trash by my trash, and he came and he said, we don't know what day they're gonna come, so that may just sit here. And it did. It sat there for a whole month. I ended up grabbing it and bringing it here to the dump. When I seen him that following Monday, he said, oh, they picked it up? You guys have a schedule now? I said, no, I had to take it to dump. He goes, that's your problem. You're paying extra for that, and that's a service we provide. So with that being said, if we need to find another option, because this is ridiculous. This is outrageous. For people who don't even live here to come dump, or people with their work trucks and say, oh, conveniently, I want to save a couple dollars.
They can come in with their work trucks.
No. We don't allow commercial dumping or anything like that in there. This is residence garbage.
They can put it out, they raise your hand twice, John, during the meeting. I got it, go ahead.
I think we need, as Central County, we need to make a yearly schedule, once a month, and we need to push it out there. Social media, or we need to get a mailing list, mail it to all the residents, or have it posted at the clubhouse with waste, what's their name?
Waste Connections.
Waste Connections. presented it to them, do a trial, we'll keep that. I'm saying we'll do a trial, and we tell our residents, put it in front, and see how it works out, and then we move forward, because we're paying for it.
Well, here's the whole thing, as residents, myself, we're paying double. Because it's already coming out of our taxes as we speak. We just haven't educated ourselves to push ourselves to do the right thing.
Let me ask you something, Don't we charge white almost every time they dump the bill?
See what I'm telling you?
Are you asking me or you're asking me? That's up to you guys.
Right, but here's what I'm trying to say, as a community, we're already getting...
I don't decide if we charge or not, that's up to you guys.
We're already getting billed for this service.
Absolutely. We are, and it's ridiculous.
And that's the one good thing about that's one good thing about it. She did push for this. She did push for this to get away from this. Because this right here is not going to go down. This is going to go up. So a lot of services are not going to be done because of this. So we as a board have to figure something out. And I don't think this is the answer to it, me personally. We need to educate our people to use the services that were already coming out of our tax bill. Well, go ahead. Good thing.
We should charge quite less, what?
This has been a major point of discussion with the prior board.
Sure.
And there was a lot, because once it hit 100,000, the prior board said, this is crazy.
Sure.
Because this is not even your responsibility. You're doing it.
Not only that, it's not on our budget. We don't have a line item for this.
No.
So Becky, say,
That's our baseball money.
Yeah,
talk a little bit.
there's our roads. No.
I should hear what previously happened.
Just so everyone is on the same page. In August of, if I'm not wrong, I know it was in 2018, and that's when we shut down for almost 6 months. It was $9,000, that monthly bill. The prior months to that, as you can see, were like 6,000, 7,000. It's under special districts that hold the contract for Waste Connections. So special districts is the one that has the authority to make these schedules. That's Tommy Vaughn, that's ahead of it. That, again, when they call, I give them all the information of Waste Connections, and I give them special districts.
Sure.
All our residents here. Well, I've had residents that come in that are from Miami, that they've purchased properties here, very disrespectful, yelling at the staff because we are not permitting them to dump anymore unless they have their ID to match their light bill, like it was stipulated from before COVID started. So we make sure we have an employee there doing exactly what the board's asking.
Sure.
Again, we've tried to educate the people, and supposedly educated people that are moving in are being the disrespectful ones.
And on that note, I'm gonna clear the air, Becky. Let's move forward as a board, as a community. One person, and I'm gonna speak off of what happened to me. As many of you know, I do work with the mail facility. There was a very, and I mean very, outrageous person, very disrespectful, and will find any little thing to come at my mail carrier. We did everything in our power, by law, to still provide her mail, still give her service. It got to the point where we took it up with our boss. We said, we're done. She no longer receives mail from anywhere within our county because of that. So moving forward, just because one person wants to be rude, as a board, as a community, we will present. That is not our mission. That is not our voice. That is not what we stand for. If you want to move to Montour, our beautiful community, you apply by these rules in which that have been in place to help our community grow. If you don't like those rules that is helping our community grow for success, a better future, and a better tomorrow, then this is not the place for you. Some people do not get that, and sometimes we can't always give you sugar. Sometimes I'm gonna be very firm with you because this is the way it needs to be. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I had to tell that to a few people lately. That you want your roads fixed, I'm going to do my diligence, and this is my diligence. When it comes down to your taxpayers' money, this is what it comes down to. And I pay taxes, my mom pays taxes, everybody pays taxes in the United States. So if people say, oh, my road hasn't been done, or this hasn't been done, this is where it's going. So if they get upset, we tell them, we tell Waste Connections, that's not our voice. Here's our voice.
And I think that the residents, I think that as like we stated, the residents need to voice their opinion to special districts. You need to open your mouth to special districts. We can shut down the dump. We could shut it down. And hey, oh, why isn't the dump? Well, put the stuff in front of your house like we used to. I used to tell them all the time.
Yeah, we sent out a letter, I drafted a letter, we sent out to every resident.
It's an educational
We worked
thing.
on it to get it really concise.
Do we have a copy of that
easy.
letter?
Pardon me?
Do we have a copy somewhere?
Of course we do.
Terrific.
And it said, you want your garbage picked up, please call 1-800, call this person, do the, because.
Pick me up.
This room was full.
There were signs
because
made, there was all
people
kind of stuff.
They're still out
They
too.
said, they were yelling here because they said, we pay you taxes to pick up the garbage. Because people still think
And we
that
have-
we are the one, they pay their taxes, I swear to you, there are people that say, I paid $1,000 in taxes to you last year. You're like, no, that's the county.
It was a whole educational, we went through like
Okay,
5 months
that was
with the
last
garbage
year. That
problem.
was last year. Now, do we have the letter? I hate to babysit, but I just, we got people coming in now. So when they ask for a permit, which they need to sign, can we staple that letter to their permit and said, listen, we got these rules and regulations, here, you have it. Here, here's your information from Altura. Or you can add anything else to that letter. We have the reservoir, any information that we could give to the new coming residents that they're coming here for a permit, staple it, here's a little packet, there's your permit. Here it is.
Absolutely.
So can we work on a plan, can we work on a plan, maybe a year and a half to get off of this thing, because this right here is going to put us.
You could just close it down like you did last time.
That's usually tough, but if we can gradually work to that,
Well,
it's like working out, you just don't go from.
some people just stop. They just stop because they get caught up with everything else.
I understand, but again,
And
I
I'm
want to be
just-
a little more sensible, if we could just little by little break them.
But that's what we're doing when we're asking for their light bill and their driver's license. So again, a lot of people, are producing it and others, they've been turned away.
I'm talking about going totally away from this,
No, and I agree.
totally getting away from that, not some.
So then we need a timeline to be like, hey, for the next 3 months, we're gonna be open. This is your Glades Electric bill. Here's the license. After 3 months, we're shutting it down. So they have 3 months to figure out, put it in front of your house. If you don't give them a time period, they're gonna be like, well, y'all never said nothing.
I agree with you.
And they're still gonna say that,
Here's the thing,
even after you give them
since we're
time
on-
period.
Since we're on this subject and we wanna get out of here as soon as possible, we got things to do.
I don't think we
Okay?
gotta get out of here.
So, but here's the
I'm not
situation.
100% on this.
My suggestion, and the board has it, I'm gonna wait on this one until the last one. If we start, I gave it to everyone here, okay? I put something in writing and suggested was the dump pricing for residents. If you bring in a pickup truck, hear me out, pickup truck or equivalent, you will pay $10 per load. A dump trailer up to 12 feet, $15 per load. Dump trailer over 12 up to 20, not exceeding 20 because you don't want big trailer coming in, you'll pay $25 per load. Once people start paying for this right here, eventually they'll start they say, oh yeah, hold on, I gotta figure something else out. Instead of throwing it out there, they'll start, they will throw it out there most probably. But you're.
Something else to add,
But
this number,
But this is promoting that to continue. This is not the answer, this is promoting
The
that to
prices are
continue.
so low, you're almost encouraging.
I'm saying,
Encouraging what?
Mr. Central County Board, this is nothing, my pockets are full.
A gift.
Yeah, this is
I wanna
promoting that to
Well,
continue.
let's raise the prices,
Let's
just
go up.
to deter these
hey,
people.
a little detail. Besides.
Give them a time limit, we're closing it, and that's it.
Let's keep in mind that we still
Shut down.
picking up garbage everywhere.
Don't
No.
pick it up.
So,
And with that being said, I spoke with a few other water districts. And when it comes to private property and it's on their lot, I have heard that other water districts, and you can correct me if I'm wrong from the council that I got, if it's on their property, it's their responsibility to
Yep.
clean. Now, if it's on ours, it's our responsibility to clean. He showed me some pictures where there was tires all on a lot, an empty lot that they didn't own, and there was one tire that was sitting in the ditch. he said they picked up that one tire and they kept on going.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months later, someone came and bought the property and complained to the water district. Said, "Oh well, these tires been here for years. You guys need to come pick it up." No, we only own this. We'll clean that out. So what the guy did was he threw it all on there, on the ditch. Then it became a legal fight because they said who put it there. Then the city had to come pick it up.
So that's why the vice is a good thing then. We can see exactly who did it.
And then here comes into the other play. We already had it documented, stating we cleaned this ditch. We noted that there was a dump lot, that they were using this certain lot, because that's what they do here in Montour. They use these certain areas all the way where no one goes, and they dump all the time. So we have it documented, and that land is sold. That land ends up being sold, and all that trash ends up on our property. We know where all that trash came from because of the perimeter.
And what did they do? Did they sue that person? Because this has happened here.
He did tell me that the individual did get upset because of all the tires being at that point. What the city, the water district basically did, they ended up going to the law enforcement with all of their evidence and information providing, and he got a fine from the county for illegal dumping, I think it was.
So let's try to work for the plan to get off this completely, John. Herminio, could you present something to the board to get completely off it, but without just cutting it off?
I said a time frame.
No, I agree with you.
I'm asking you guys to
Give us a time frame so I can put it out there.
Can I make a motion?
There is a other way, Mr. Mara. Let me explain something to you.
I'll give you time frame. The next 3 months.
Not even
shutting it down.
All kind of stuff to bring these
A lot of people don't know that the new people give them
well,
information.
besides, instead of getting lower, it's just getting higher, and we're spending time on. The only way to get away from this is closing it. There is no other way.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, let's work to close it.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Work.
Becky, is there a way that we can get with Waste Connections and as a county, make a schedule to present to them that they can present to the citizens?
Oh, I don't have no problem communicating with Danielle. I have no problem.
We already did one.
Okay, well, can I make a motion?
Do you not remember Amnesty Week in the clubhouse?
That's like once in the.
Yeah, but what did they do with the extra tires? They left them on the clubhouse.
They kept throwing them.
Exactly. That's the thing. They don't. The reason.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, there was no respect. The county came to do a good deed for us. Why didn't they do it again? Because they did not respect. We had to call the sheriffs for people to stop dumping on the side of the dumpster.
3 officers to stop people from dumping from everywhere.
So, wait, let's make a sign and say in 30 days, we're gonna go ahead.
They don't care.
That's, again, I say 3 months.
May 31st.
May 31st, right before summer starts. Right before summer starts, hey, 3 months. We're gonna be shutting it down. So make sure you start putting your trash next to your trash on Tuesdays and Fridays. If it's bulk garbage, call this number, 675-2481. They will pick it up. That's all they need to do.
So what we have to do.
Instead of calling and complaining CCWCD.
So what we need to do, again.
May 31st.
It doesn't become a habit until you do something 21 days repetitiously. We have to repetitiously tell and educate the community.
I'll be more than happy to if they call me.
Please do it. What is it that you're trying to do, young man?
I make a motion.
To
Can I
do
make a
what?
motion, Chair?
Motion to do what? Adjourn?
No.
Oh. What's your?
I make a motion to have a 6-month proposal, 3 months with awareness and notification of the change for the dumping, with a schedule presented to Waste Management and the community within those 3 months, repeatedly Spanish and in English, to be posted anywhere within Central County boundaries, stating on our clubhouse, our office, at the mailbox, that within these 6 months, our waste, our dumping will come to a complete stop. Here's the contact information, and here's our month to yearly schedule to please follow. And if you have dumping or anything like that, please call. 6 months should be more than enough time for that. And within 6 months, if they don't get the message, then I don't know what will.
I would say 3 months.
I will second it if you say 3 months.
3 months. 3 months.
I said 3 months.
We have a motion on the floor.
3 months.
We have a second?
That's 90 days.
Can I edit the motion? 3-month period.
We have a motion on the floor for 3 months.
I second that motion for 3 months.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Again, motion carries.
31st, that'll be there.
Josh, what's your comment?
Just to kind of give everybody an idea of what type of problem we do have with this dump. What's happening is I do know that there's people that actually live here that is actually taking payment from other people on weekends to bring their stuff here to dump it. Okay, we've actually followed these people in on a Friday night with trailers, and they'd wait till Saturday morning with the homeowner to come here to dump. Second of all, there's a lot of going on with code enforcement right now, right? There's a gentleman out here that had a double wide trailer that got fined so much that he decided to tear the trailer down himself with a piece of machinery, and every bit of that double wide trailer got put in the dumpsters. We paid for his fines, is what happened. This is what's going on here. This has not been going on recently, this has been going on. We need to shut this dump down. They need to make a policy while you have it open for 3 months. It needs to be in a garbage bag. Quit with all this loose trash. It's blowing all over everywhere. Me, my wife, and Rolly went and spent 30 to 45 minutes, and we picked up 3 bags of trash that blew out from the dumpster into the parking lot over there after we just had a big festival, over 200 people that volunteered to come and picked up trash.
And I think that's what we're trying to do as a community,
Right.
not have a cesspool.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna tell you, when I drive by and look this way, I'm like, ugh.
Quit putting the trash on the ground. Make them put it in a bag in the dumpster.
Let's educate our community to go in the right direction. Aaron, you have a comment?
Part of that message needs to help people understand the taxes they pay for their trash.
Right, it doesn't pay for that.
That is Hendrick County. So they need to understand that it's Hendrick County.
And we need to do.
retain.
Sure,
Yeah,
exactly.
already
Yeah,
paid for
but that's the educational part that I talk about. We're gonna have to educate our community.
And this is-
Some paperwork we put together, Mr. Romero, any idea you give Becky going forward, so we go ahead and pass it out of the food bank?
Yeah, we can tell them to go and look on their tax bill that they receive every year. We have
Tell me what's on their tax bill.
Becky, we have that letter, we should post it on our website. That letter with one
But with that being said, it's the way we get the message across.
Right.
We have to hit every dot when it comes getting this message across. English, Spanish, Facebook, the
Creole,
newspaper,
French.
the clubhouse, the mailroom. Even if we need to pay to get it sent to their individual address, like how they do for elections, we need to do that so that they can't come to our meeting and say, oh, well, we didn't know. No, honey, we hit every dot on our bulletin board to get that message to you. That's what we need to do.
Rolly's volunteered to do a video on my first
No, I mean, we can, as they come into the dump, we can hand them the letter that in the next 90 days, we're shutting down, and that's it.
Perfect, because we're paying for
Yep.
the dump, and we're paying for an employee
Yep,
that's not there too
that's
much.
it.
Exactly, you got that overtime.
Hey,
I would use it for baseball.
I have a question. Issue with the garbage. You know, I think it's gonna happen after we close down the garbage.
Yes, people's gonna start throwing it on the ditch.
And that's why we have.
Everywhere. And the empty lots,
But that's why you're
Right.
here, and the other officer, you're on your guard, security.
you know what? You know what, Ruth, I'm gonna bring you an application for volunteer. Because we need more volunteer for the room.
So the one that threw trash.
The reason why, the reason why I funded the first 3 months of this budget is because I still, 32,000, we still picking up garbage out there, even though that the dumpster is open.
I didn't know.
So, you know, if I have to pick up trash out there, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be $120,000 a year.
And you're still gonna have an employee working for you.
No, besides, we have
already need that.
Every Dominguez is gonna be.
We already need that. And we need to post illegal dumping is an offense, it's a crime. and you can go to.
It's a big fine because we.
Go ahead. What else do we have?
The last thing, newspaper. All requested, it's been posted, and thank you.
What is it?
The $1.6 million that we just got.
The grant was posted today in the newspaper.
Okay, I don't see it.
Yes, you have a copy in all those papers you have there.
It's in the front of the notebook.
No,
Front pocket.
What do you want it for? Your name is already on there. That's the amount down there.
The board.
Oh, he found it.
The board hired a marketing firm to draft a press release.
The board?
Yeah, to draft this press release and send it out to the meeting.
So like we spoke on the last meeting, it is a great news, so, you know, everybody should know about it. So it's great. I don't know how many people in the community are gonna read it, but.
And that is a great team effort by our staff, Mr. Bennett, everybody involved. This is a great win for our community. This is the start of a great thing. That's good.
Thank you.
Great thing. Good deal. And I think we also was awarded some more money for the fire house as well, right?
1.4.
Awesome. Good. Okay. Manager report finally done?
Unless anybody has a question.
Anybody have a question for the manager?
Yes, the rock paper, I'm sorry. What are we doing with that rock paper?
That would be on Mr. Bennett. Unless you want to hear it now.
Yeah, we're gonna hear it over with the rock paper, because, that was organized.
Yes, sir.
Grant application, first thing, we're working on getting the city document and all that. Once we get actually grant.
Sure.
Get it signed, we'll be ready to advertise.
What?
Clubhouse, your pool repair work underway.
Sure.
The county shut it down.
Okay.
We actually called the county, I'm sure whether or not we need a permit.
license is 210. Fingerprint, we do fingerprint too. Those are included. license is 250. I include the rounds on the issue. The CCW, the consumer license, is 100.
Should issue a permit, I'll have to find out. And get some more information. Anyway, I let the contractor know that you need to go in.
We're also instructor for CBI.
He did that, but I never heard the results of that until I got here today. Email says, they didn't know how to charge, didn't know what to do with it. It worked till they figured that out.
This is actually what I was told. They told him basically, let us figure it out and we'll go back.
In the morning, I'll call in and get him started.
Desde Cipro.
Y los empleados, el courthouse tiene empleados, el courthouse. If you build a swimming pool, they're gonna be the CBI.
That's where that is. Roads, we're
Renewal.
usually a couple of weeks. That's people putting in cable for cable TV and that kind of thing. Power company extended lines that they have to do permit from. So
They say
they
you
do
do
all
the
that.
level 2 background.
I talked with the geotechnical folks about the rock pit. I didn't get hold of him for a couple of weeks. The guy that I needed to talk to was on vacation, but when he got back, we talked. And his suggestion was that we didn't go out there and just start drilling holes. Exploratory. What we had, which after we talked, it makes a lot of sense. What he wants us to do is go out there with our machine, dig a couple of test pits, get some of that rock, get some out of the old hole where we've done before, get him some samples of that, and I'll take that over to them, and they'll test the rock. Make sure it's good rock, that it meets the specifications before we go drilling all over everywhere to find out how much of it we got.
Understood.
So that's what Herminio and I'll do. We'll go ahead and get some samples, and I'll get it over to him. They can do that testing for less than $1,000 for all of that. he'd say he's probably looking at 10 to 15,000 for the drilling, depending on, you know, he was gonna look, I sent him an aerial photograph, and he was gonna look in that area and give us a firm estimate once we found out if the rock was worth mining. So that's where we are.
You know how deep they're gonna go? Because here you probably have 10 feet a mile.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know how much overburden over the top of it. That'll make a difference too. If you got 6 or 8 feet of dirt before you get to the rock, that's a lot of dirt.
So what does he want first? For him to dig as much as he wants in just one little area to see how deep it is?
Yeah, he just wants us to get enough 4 or 5 gallon buckets full from each hole. But they'll also tell us how far it is down to the rock. Now, he'll determine when he gets out there drilling it, he'll determine the actual thickness of the rock and the extent of it. You know, he'll go out, staying out of the wetlands, but he'll go out in an area around there and try to kind of map out the extent of the rock. So
sure.
That's where we are on that. So we're
It
gonna
should be
get him
pretty
the rock,
good.
test it, and then as soon as we get the results of the test, I'll get that information to you guys, and we'll, if it does meet it, I'll get him to go ahead and give us a price for doing the rest of the drilling.
But we do have the machine to go in there and just dig it up as much as we can.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Thank you.
And then we submitted the C-139 basin permit that was due to be renewed this year. And Waterman is renewing it, but as most of you know, we've got an adjacent landowner that their property drains through Ontura.
Sure.
And we haven't been able to get them to sign the application. So I've been working back and forth with Waterman, and I've contacted that landowner 2 or 3 times.
What is it?
Waterman's
Is it
come-
Hilliard?
Hmm?
Is it Hilliard?
No, it's some people named Carney. Weekly Brothers used to own the piece of property, but now it's some people named Carney that are part-time residents of that property, and then part-time they live over on the coast, but
Don't we have a levee there? Isn't there a levee in there?
no.
No?
No, and it's gonna be very difficult to block them from drainage of our property the way that the property lays, because we've got one canal that goes adjacent to their property, and pretty much right on their property line, so we'd have a hard time piling up any dirt to keep them from draining onto us. But
Sure.
So, still trying to work through that. Waterman is working with us. They're not saying we're delinquent or anything like that, because they know
Who ripped
it's
it?
a problem. But
I heard it.
I've talked to the lady personally, I've sent her the application to sign. She talked to me, so yeah, I'll get that signed and get it right back to you, still nothing, so. I just want to let y'all know that's what.
Thank you, Mr.
They're
Bennett.
not being very cooperative. They all know that.
I have a question for you, Mr. Bennett. In reference to, when they do permits to do digs, not, 811 locates and all that kind of stuff. I noticed driving 833, turning onto Avenida del Sur. I noticed the white pipes with the orange top. That's DSL, correct? That's fiber?
Yes.
So I noticed there was a lot of work done here in the last few months, and I don't see anything happening anymore. What seems to be going on?
I don't know,
Can you find out for us?
I can.
Because here's what I'm saying. There's a lot of companies promoting high-speed internet service. It's phony baloney. Until we get DSL running through all these streets, because you have all these trees blocking cellular sites and radio towers can't talk. But I know fiber is the way to go, because we have fiber that goes a long, long way, and it seems like they bypassed us.
Yes.
So is there anything that we can do to figure out what's going on? Do they plan on coming this way? Do they need a commitment from the community saying we're gonna, 'cause I know it's expensive to run this stuff. I know it's expensive. I think we all already know it's expensive, but we'd like to know as a community, is that going to happen? Because you can run a home-based business if you have a good internet service. But if you don't have a good internet service, you're going to just be frustrated.
Right. I'll check on that. I know they're running from out off of 80 in the, what they call Banyan Village.
Yes, sir. I know.
Or are they gonna get their return on their investment? That's
Yeah.
what basically, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
That's basically bottom line, is what they're looking at return on their investment. That's why we haven't been able to just like we said, we have 6,420 something lots out here, and just a handful of them. So if we have 6,420 lots here, and even if we have 5,000, I guarantee you that they'll be here, because they want our business.
I'll check it.
Yeah, please, if you keep us monthly updated with that, because a lot of residents do ask me, the ones that get the best signal are the ones on Avenida del Sur going to the clubhouse area. A lot of us that's not close to that, we don't, we pick up on.
I know they went, like you say, from 833, they went all the way to Hacienda and then they turned.
Yeah.
But that's it, they didn't.
So if you, because again, I definitely would like to see those reports when I see Mastech or Underground Utilities doing something. They inform us, correct?
Yeah, we issue them a permit. They're supposed to call us before they go. I'm not sure how often they call you, but.
They called about a month ago.
Okay.
If you could let us know as a board what's going on, because I definitely would love to know what's going on. I don't know about the rest of them, but I definitely would like to know.
No, it's a big topic.
Good.
It's a really big topic.
All right, that's all I have for you, Mr. President. Anybody else? Anything for Mr. Bennett? Not going forward. All right, the treasury report, Mr. John Boyle.
For the month of January, total disbursement, $165,442. Our 2020 tax assessment, $1,752,000. That's down with a balance of $852,671 now. Next page is what we collected year to date for the month of January. Collected $204,663 in January. Our collections are over the prior year by $101,000. Delinquent tax collections are under the prior year by $40,666.
That's amazing.
Some of that's, timing differences.
Sure.
And as far as our spending to the budget, we take, it's 4 months into the fiscal year. We're about $53,776 under budget, about 6% under budget so far. There's a complete set of financial statements and each one of the board reports. If anybody has any detailed questions, they can call me or we can get answers to any of it. That's pretty much it.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do have a question.
Go right ahead.
I did see this occur a couple of times, for you being our finance person. Do you think in our budget we can look forward to 2024 increasing some of the workers' pay? With the direction that our budget is going, which is we're catching it up, we're doing the right part. Do you think by 2024 we can increase by any percentage?
It's gonna have to.
We do a cost of living increase every year.
5%.
3%.
No, but I'm saying we have to, because the minimum wage in the state of Florida has increased.
Right.
So I know we, by a long shot, to reach that. But I'm saying, is there any way with the direction of where our budget's going, would we be close to catching up?
Most of them's kind of
Depends
past
on
that
how
already.
much work you do. I mean,
So most of them's already past that, right?
Budget doesn't
Not in the clubhouse.
overall.
But I mean,
Cutting back.
how many, what are we talking about, 2, 3 people in the
Not doing any
clubhouse?
road paving, road researching, so.
Yeah.
That'll save us $200,000 out of what we budgeted. But still, without, it's hard to say. I mean, really, we're tight. No tax increases. Our budget last year, on the budget.
That's over a 5-year
we're in
period
right now.
to get that.
We're projected to lose $590,000. Now, we cut 200 out right there, so it's less, but still, I mean, we can, I'm sure, keep up with.
how are we gonna continue losing and losing money every single year? How are we gonna become successful and every single year we lose money?
The only reason you're able to do it is because there's money that was socked away in the bank and it's going down.
Yeah, it's going down. If we're
You
not
know
putting
how much
anything,
longer.
yeah, if we don't put something in, we're gonna end up bankrupt sooner or later, guys.
Man, that ain't rocket science, bro.
We're gonna end up, I mean, everything that's why the proposals are coming in. We're trying to figure out ways for us to make money, because we don't wanna increase those taxes, and we have to figure out ways, and we keep.
You have to raise them regardless.
So we're not having baseball?
I'll give them the $700.
That's up to you guys.
Take it out of the dump.
Be careful what y'all ask for.
I'm not sure we can go on, forever without raising taxes.
Sure.
That's 18 years.
They need to raise the taxes.
We have to pay the ferry sooner or later, right, Mr. Ford?
$10 a year.
$220.
Oh, no, they'll go up. They'll go to probably 100, unfortunately.
Now, all these people moving.
One question I want to ask you. How much do you think that we should increase the taxes? How much?
Right.
In order for us to be able to function financially.
I can have multiple figures, but the ones that we studied that 2 years ago. Presented increases in cost, right? $75 produces about $500,000.
$75 per
year.
Per trouble. So of those $75, how much Henry County is going to take away from us?
No.
So let's do it.
No, that's kind of else. You on the board, you don't know the shit.
You have to take away a census from 18 years ago. A census from 18 years ago. How many people were in Montura 18 years ago?
It's been 5 months. You haven't figured it out, what the difference between what we pay and what they pay?
Well, it doesn't
I'm so
really
over
matter.
there.
It doesn't matter how many people. What's an idea on that? An empty lot paying the same amount as a multi-millionaire property. They pay exactly the same.
But we're having more cost, and we're having more people, we're having more garbage, we're having more things.
I understand, but it doesn't matter. The taxes are
Eliminate
the
the damn
same.
garbage, you won't have that
For
problem.
me, for her, for him, for anybody.
But increase in expenses, our expenses continue to.
Our expenses are 175% more.
That's why, so the census from 18 years ago to now, from.
It's not working.
It's not working.
No.
Hold on, we can have 5 conversations. Mr. Boyd, you have the floor.
I remember that $75 would be like $500,000, $7,500. That would bring us even for a job.
So the most important thing is, and I'm not in disagreement, and I'm not for it, the most important thing that we have to do is educate our community. Because everybody in this room, taxes go up. So again, we have to educate. I feel, my personal opinion, if you educate me, and because they're going to say, well, Daniel, you don't know how to spend $100,000. How am I going to give you $500,000? What are you going to do with $500,000? Give it to the Boys and Girls Club?
No, they say it was deep.
Whatever, I don't care what they say, I'm just saying, if we can't prove to the community we know how to handle this budget,
dumpster.
how am I gonna ask the community to have another $500,000?
You show them the dumpster. Right.
They're gonna say, man, I gave all my money to Herminio last meeting.
No, but with that being said, this is the same thing that I addressed to many people.
Sure.
We pay 2 taxes, okay? Let's be frankly honest. What we as Central County are in charge of, we get a lot of backlog. Let me say, our roads. Oh, my road, this or that, and many factors. But the major things that we get attacked for, when it comes down to the nitty and gritty, and we have to tell them, well, this is how much you pay on taxes, this is...
How much service can you get for that?
We're making pennies move mountains. And sometimes it comes to where we're going to go back to you and say, look, we did it. But you're asking for this. Now this is what we need in return. Because you can't throw the blame or throw the air at us and say, oh well, your diligence is your job, because which it is. And when we go to do our diligence and do our job, this is what we're telling you we need.
But as a taxpayer myself, Hendry County and here, I would prefer to have workshops so we can sit and discuss
Absolutely.
and work these things out.
I agree.
My personal opinion.
I agree.
That's why you have to be careful. But again, I'm not afraid to tackle any issue in Montreux. You have to hit it face on. You got to allow the people to get involved. You have to. But you have to educate and let them know what we're doing this for, what that money's going for.
This is the time to be having that discussion, remember, in the summer, you begin budget
Rachel, the roach.
series of budget workshops.
They flew in.
July, and then August, you have to adopt a final budget in August. So we're on a fiscal year budget.
We start on May, actually. May, June, July.
This is a good discussion because you're gonna have budget workshops. In those budget workshops, you raise this issue.
This is what we're gonna keep in the back of our mind.
And the other thing, to let you know, the backlash that you're talking about, as well as Mr. Santana, the backlash that we're gonna get is you're gonna have, again, an older lady come walking in this door that's making peanuts, barely struggling now, and then you're gonna say you're gonna raise her taxes up. I don't know, I have empathy for people and I try to help, so just we have to, you know, it's gonna be careful. I'm not saying that's something that has to be done, but I'm telling you, you're gonna have a lot of people come in there and say, I can't even live now. So we have to,
Let me say this, let me say this, inspect. There's many different areas in every area. You have your low income, you have your, your mid class, and you have your high class area.
Sure.
Okay. We are a low income area. My family, we make it stretch. Okay. So this is coming from experience.
Okay.
When I have to put certain things aside from as a board member and as a community member, I have to look at it as a whole. There will be, in my family as well as my own house, there'll be times where, you have to make it stretch. But it also comes to the retrospect of, are we, as a board and as a board member, are we growing our community, or are we sitting down and thinking of it as a, oh, well, let me think. I think about them all the time. I think about the young kid, because I have 10 siblings of my own. So when it comes to that, yes, oh, how are we gonna make it meet? Yes, I get that. But it also comes to the spec where we can provide more, we can provide more amenities to them with that tax money.
Sure.
We can do more with that tax money. Yes, you are paying it to Central County, but Central County has a baseball. Central County has somewhere after school we can work at, where your kids can go to the club. Central County has worked with our engineer and other big companies to get you that Wi-Fi you need at home. But the only way we are going to have to make that happen is with the tax money. Yeah, it's a subject no one wants to touch or no one wants to, but either we go broke and...
Think about our roads, dirt roads.
Absolutely.
We've got how much more mileage is being put on now than 18 years ago.
Yes,
So it costs
absolutely.
a whole lot more to maintain them, but
Yes.
the same tax.
I totally agree, but
It's
again,
gonna be hard.
yes, but we have to have workshops to allow the public to know what's going on, because there might be somebody in the public that has an idea that we don't have. And then, I don't want y'all's cheeks to switch up when it's time to vote and you got a mad mob out here. And all of a sudden y'all flip the switch and go the other way and run.
Just make sure when you have, you need to have a clubhouse.
Oh no, this place will be great. This place will be great.
That's why we're trying to continue, that's why, since before I became a board member, and I asked you, BSL, like, is there any room that we can make money, being until 98, in order to avoid increasing taxes for the people? There has to be ways that we can think that we could work together, so money can come in, and we don't have to raise taxes.
Rolly, I don't know any way you're gonna make up $500,000.
Sure.
Play the lotto.
Not with that just being said, not even raising taxes, we need to move out of the way we're even taxed, period. No other water district, as you always mention, is taxed the way we're taxed. That's something we need to tackle as well. is because that within itself is a big problem.
Yes, it is.
And that's something, I've been looking into, getting counsel from other people. That's something us, as a board, we need to invest in to find out how to move from the way we are being taxed now to go to successful places like Lee County and other water districts. Because the way we're being taxed, it ain't working. I'm sorry, it's not. We could punch numbers, we could even raise taxes if we want. And I guarantee you, we're gonna end up coming back to that same problem. The way we're being taxed. You can put $1 million home and you're only gonna pay, no, I don't agree with that, I'm sorry, I don't. We need to find a way of moving around from that.
We passed the 2-hour mark, but go ahead, Mr. Boyd, anything else?
That's it.
We didn't make our record, John.
2 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours.
We're almost getting to Hialeah time. Any questions for the attorney? All right, district clubhouse, we have a clubhouse report.
No, we took care of that with the manager's report.
Good, all right, going on to number 6, Mr. Supervisor, Dan, you have the floor. You have anything?
Yes. This is regarding.
I'm sorry.
This is regarding the March 13th event.
March 13th. Okay.
It's the basketball and soccer tournament. Well, I was, as a board member, I wasn't briefed on the yearly calendar. I don't know. I asked Herminio regarding who makes the yearly calendar. He said he did. I think as a board we should be vetted. It should be brought to us every month or presented to us. Say, hey, this is what we're doing for this month. If you have anything you want to add or put in, I think that's something that needs to happen as a board. He serves at the pleasure of us, and we serve at the pleasure of the community. So we hear the community's voice. When they say we want this, we want that, I think that needs to be vetted through us so we can add events to the calendar as well and not the other way around. Because as I heard, there was 2 unsuccessful events, and me being the youngest and getting a lot of the youth involved, we didn't hear about it until the day of when we seen it posted on Facebook. Okay. And I think that if I was vetted through a month before, say, hey, this is what we have planned for the month. If you want to add anything or do anything else, let us know so we can add it to the calendar. I think that gives us more time as a board to get with our constituents, our voters, and say, hey, did you know we're going to be doing this? Do you have any feedback? Do you want to do something like this? Because we came into a conflict where a lot of the community wanted a certain event. We had a big misunderstanding. So now we have 2 events that are going on simultaneously, and we have.
So we have 2 events March 13th?
March 13th. We have basketball, we have the basketball tournament, and we have the soccer tournament.
Same time?
No, they're going to be, the basketball tournament is going to be starting as it has always been early in the morning, and then the soccer tournament is going to start a little bit after that.
Basketball is first.
Are you hosting both events?
I wanted to do it with Central County, but Central County said because it wasn't on their agenda, that we can't, that it was a big misunderstanding with them that we can't have both events.
So basically what you're looking.
Maybe you want to say something.
What you're asking for.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, Maggie.
What you're asking for, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that on our meetings, just like we have these reports.
Absolutely.
Have the previous month, give us a month
A month ahead.
ahead of what plans are coming in or what's happening.
Yes, because what the biggest problem was is, as I am very involved into the youth and very involved into the community, they tell me what they want. They tell me, hey, Daniel, can we do this? Can we do that? Hey, can you bring a couple people together? Sure. As you did with the horses, as many other people have done. And with it being with Central County, it comes more, the youth is they don't have the money. Let's say it like this. They don't have the money. They need someone who can support them and back them. And as this is being a low welcome area, from experience, events like this, sometimes when I didn't have anything to eat, this is where I ate. I went to a community event, they gave me a basket, they said, here you go, here goes a hot dog, a burger, a chip, and a sandwich. And if you want to eat more, come and eat more. And that's where I had to eat for that day. So when it comes to certain things like that, if I would have known this schedule ahead of time, I could have got with management and said, hey, I think this is where they want to hit, this is what they want to do. This is something in their area. And when I presented it, when I brought it to the management staff, they already had something planned that day. But the community wanted something else. So my thing was, if I was vetted about it a month ago, then we wouldn't have this conflict. But the conflict we're having now is we have 2 events that are going to be happening at the same.
Okay. Isn't that a good thing?
To me, I don't see no problem with it, but
moving forward.
Moving forward.
Okay, but
Okay, I got just one comment to make. When you came into the office, I showed you our calendar and told you where the basketball tournament did not take place. We had the basketball shoot because, again, we did post it. I posted it on our website. We posted it at the clubhouse a month in advance, in December. Okay, so that didn't take place, but I think 40 kids did show up to the basketball shoot that we had. When you came in, I showed you the yearly calendar in the sense of me and Valerie had put it together over a year ago because she was the one that always did the tournaments and whatnot. I explained that to you. Now, I told you that for March, well, we had the Valentine's in February because of COVID, so we're doing everything kind of drive-through. I also explained.
So the calendar we have, Valerie put this.
Me and Valerie have put this together initially for every year.
Gotcha.
And so the tournaments are already scheduled. We got basketball on January, and then again in April. We do March for the soccer, and February we got the Valentine's dance. We used to have the Valentine's dance.
Sure.
April we have 2 events. We have basketball tournament again, and we have the Easter egg hunt. We haven't been able to do Easter egg hunt because of COVID. So this year we were going to do a drive-through with the eggs and cookies and stuff like that.
you've been limited, yes, you've been limited.
So again, but every other month there's been an event for the clubhouse, and it goes posted on our website with adequate time and on our clubhouse and by the post office and everything else. Now, you do have a better communication with the youth. But I was specific that in March is our soccer event. You came out and you told me, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and I asked you, let's work together.
Let me correct you. I came into the office regarding the event that was held recently, which was the basketball shoot. There was a lot of backlash that I got directly because the individual who has always ran the basketball event was no longer running them. And there was a few comments from parents and people who didn't go and didn't show up for certain reasons. Now when it comes to the people who play, which are the youth, these were all, I took everything they told me and I took it to proportion. I didn't get the calendar or anything until I came in and asked for it. So what I'm saying is I had nothing to present to them regarding March. They wouldn't know. As I said, we are under certain circumstances because of COVID. So certain people, every day, if they need to work, they need to make it happen. But some people are entitled to having a fun day. If they can't schedule it ahead of time, how are they supposed to know? That was one thing. When I walked in, I wasn't briefed on it. I asked for it. I got it. Yes, you did present me the rest of the year. But what I'm saying is, as a board, I was elected in November. December, we should have, as a board, been presented with that year-to-date calendar, which I wasn't, nor were any of the board members, from my understanding. So what I'm saying is, the event was posted prior to me showing up to the office, because this was something that I was going to bring because I didn't have a calendar. And I wanted to do it, I wanted to host the event with Central County as we are doing the soccer event, because I didn't know there was anything on the calendar. So what I'm saying is, the conflicts came because I wasn't presented with anything. I didn't know, either did any of my constituents. And the young generation, as I said, they're very onto social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that, and some parents are as well.
Okay.
They didn't.
It's almost 9:30. Let's get to it, brother.
Can I ask something?
No.
No, yes, please. No, yes.
Daniel, okay, what is your, no, we got to stop this, come on. What is it that you're looking for?
No, because some things that he mentioned is not right, so I wanna make it clear.
No.
I wanna make it clear.
No, sir.
I wanna make it clear.
Is the board opposed to hosting both events on March 13th?
So at this present moment, we're not hosting 2 events, or we are hosting 2 events?
No, they only want to host the event that was put on their calendar.
No, wait a minute. This is not something that I want. Okay. First of all, hold on a minute. Okay. So, me, as a district manager, I'm in charge to do the calendar.
Can we get to the?
The board
We
has
can see
never
this, but
been
no.
involved on any event as be part of making the calendar. That's my entire responsibility. I do the calendar. I do the event. The board could be part of it.
You do the calendar?
Yes. We have the calendar done. The calendar was done by Becky and Valerie
Okay.
like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And not long ago, Becky and my wife sit down again and did some new changes. and
Just an
stuff.
update of the dates, but
Right.
the events continue on the same months.
So let's
Right.
let's get down to the 13th.
Okay,
We'll
hold
get
on a
here in
minute.
3.5 hours.
So hold on a minute. So the calendar for the event is done by our office. It's not done by the board members. That's my responsibility. If you want the calendar, you have the right to come and ask for it.
That's all. I think that's all he's asking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is if you can present it to the board ahead of time
Yeah.
so they know exactly what's going on.
There's no problem.
I think that's
Now-
all you're asking, right?
To be, yes. Yeah.
We do post the events 30 days in advance of every single one of them. Okay? We do that on every single event.
But which event is happening on the 13th?
Is the soccer tournament. Now, another thing that I want to make clear, the board members, and this is just so there will be no misunderstanding in the future, because we call him personally to explain it to him. What happened was, Mr. Daniel went and posted on social media that La Belle White House was managing the event.
The soccer event?
All of them.
Okay.
Okay, so I told Becky, can you get in touch with Mr. Daniel and make sure that he knows that he's doing something that he's not supposed to?
Okay.
Because La Belle White House had nothing to do with Central County events.
Sure.
Okay, unless they want to volunteer themselves for the event.
Okay.
So Daniel didn't answer the phone at all. We sent an email to make sure that everything was clear. 5 minutes later, he showed up in the office, asking why. So we explained it to him exactly how it was. We explained it to him that we have an event calendar and we will go by the event calendar, exactly as it is. Right? So he was fine with it. We were going to do the soccer event. After that, he says to us, well, can I do the flyer? I said, yeah, sure. Go ahead, no problem. He sent the flyer. Again, La Belle White House was managing the event. No, we got to change it.
Managing or partner?
It says partner and managing as a volunteer.
Okay. So after that, we changed it again and we put it as a La Belle White House was kind of volunteer or partnering or whatever. Which is fine. I mean, I'm happy with it. But we cannot change the events because remember we have employees. You also asked if we can do the event at 4 p.m. No, we cannot. We don't have enough employees for that.
I think what he's trying to say there, media, don't take this in a bad way. Saying sounds like you're trying to make a motion. So I think what is it? You're correct, but again, don't take this wrong. You guys work for the board.
Exactly.
He's one board member. We're the board.
Right.
So it's what the board is what the board says. And again, you guys need to understand to make adjustments. Figure out a way to make it happen. So are we having 2 events that day or 1 event? I'm asking you.
1 event. And let's make it clear because his question to me was, so are you canceling the basketball tournament? I said, no. You can have your basketball tournament, but you have to pay with your own money and bring your own insurance because that's not in the calendar. So you can do it, but he got to pay for it.
So what is it that you're trying to get to, Daniel? Because I'm a little confused now.
The motion that I wanted to bring forward was, as I said, I wasn't vetted about this year-to-date calendar.
Okay.
This was put together with my constituents, my voters, the community.
Okay.
Way a long time ago. So when it was posted, it was post-dated way before I seen the calendar. When I came into the office to speak with the manager and assistant manager regarding that event and the conflict, the event was already posted prior. So what I did was, as a management way, was I said we can have both events. What we put on the flyer was partnered and managed by. We're not managing anything regarding the building, the facility. We're only managing our volunteers and helping making sure that the system goes smooth. Everyone has a great time. If, oh, you need 2 people on your team, okay, we'll get that. We are partnering with Central County because Central County has a facility. We're just bringing the people. That's all it was to say. Well, what I'm saying is because it was a conflict, I'm saying, well, Central County partner, I'm making the motion to have both events that day.
And you guys are opposed of it, or what? What's the issue? I'm lost.
Because he said because
The
of
issue
overtime.
was, he asked me if I was canceling the event. I said, no, I'm not canceling the event. The event was never on the calendar.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and do the basketball tournament, he can pay for his own.
Just to stop this. There was a flyer that was posted for basketball and soccer, which was not what we agreed. It was the soccer tournament. They added basketball. That's all it was. So we said we're gonna do the soccer one, but we never agreed for basketball because we just did it in January. Nobody showed up. We did the basketball shoot. The kids showed up, but the teenagers and the adults didn't show up. So now we're doing soccer. The flyer was posted with basketball and soccer. We told him, you want to do basketball? You're more than happy. You can do it. But it's got to be under your liability, under LaBelle White House, not under CCWCD. We're still doing our soccer tournament because it's already something that we've had in place. That's all it was. Done.
So what is your motion to the board?
My motion to the board is to continue with both events as the constituents have wanted. Because as March comes around, we are coming close to spring break. Everybody's getting off. Everybody's going on their little vacation. So I wanted to host both events. But as I said, the motion is if the board has a problem with holding both events.
Any questions from the board members? John, we okay with this? Any questions, concerns?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what this is. I still don't understand.
Here's
Is it that an event wasn't budgeted?
Oh my God.
There's no personnel?
It's a personal event. Now, this is a.
No.
His event is a personal event that he wants to do because it's not on your calendar.
Exactly.
Okay? So it's a personal event that he wants to do because it's not on the Central County calendar. Just like tomorrow, you have an event tomorrow, and I say, hey, I'm gonna bring my horses and do an event. Let's go back. Josh had the cleanup.
You had the
and I had the
thing.
horses in the same day.
It worked out perfect.
He did his thing and all that because it was Central County, but it was my personal thing, so I had to get my own insurance. I had to pay my own things because I wanted to make it happen. And unfortunately, Josh and I agreed, and I said, Josh, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it, and we didn't get together to this, or else it would have been a bigger success. So that's it. Basically, it boils down to this, that he is going to do a personal event that he wants to do for the community, okay? What type of liability does he need or have? Because right now, Central County, on their calendar, is hosting under their insurance on the Central County, which we have approved for our calendar, it's hosting the soccer event. Now, he wants to do a personal event. What is, now this, what the same day, what he needs to do to get it done, and as a learning experience, going forward, what he needs to do, adding it to the calendar or something like that. Please answer.
To clarify.
But it's still personal, right? It's a personal.
Let me clarify this. The individual who used to manage, this is gonna take a while, but I'm gonna speed it up. The individual who used to schedule and make all of these events gets with committees, a basketball committee, a soccer committee, regardless of whatever it is, to help run the event. Central County has provided the food and the facility, either it's the clubhouse or the field or the basketball court, plus the insurance. But they also
worked with Central County
Yes,
did
they have
together.
always worked
Okay.
together. All Central County requires them for liability is for everyone to sign a, wait. What I'm asking is because it's March 13th, within a couple days, the people who I speak to on a daily basis, 35, all different age groups, different businesses and stuff like this, we were talking about this prior, months ago, of having the event. When I found out of the conflict that it was coming, what boiled down to was, I don't want to step on no one's toes, because they already have their own schedule. What I'm saying is, for a liability reason, I want to have Central County, this is why I wanted to make the motion. The events will be held by Central County for insurance reasons, because I don't want to go to two different insurance companies. I want to speak unison. The same waiver that both events are going to have is the same thing. Because if we go through my insurance, it's a whole different waiver, plus their waiver, that's a lot of paperwork. So I wanted to go through all one thing, you sign one waiver in unison. That's what I wanted to make the motion for. It is no cost to Central County because I'm bringing my own people to help work the event. That's why I said partnered and managed by. We're not buying, we didn't say in there that we're doing any of that. It says in the small description that Central County Water District will be providing the food, blah, blah, blah. We're not providing any of that. We're just helping run the event. That was the only motion that I wanted to bring forward, is if that was okay.
Yeah, but you need to understand something, Daniel. When you post that on Facebook, you did not make a call to the office. You did not ask if we're providing food and drinks, because you took that on your own. There is, some steps that you have to follow.
I want to ask you something. When you plan this event, you did it by yourself, what did you do?
This is what I'm saying. I wasn't vetted about any event that Central County was having. So what I'm saying was,
My question is, you created this event, you decided about this event
yes, I spoke
by
with
yourself?
I spoke with my constituents, yes, I
And
did.
you didn't tell
And I was-
Central County?
Not.
Nope.
until
No.
they presented, no, you're
Nope,
correct.
but we're gonna use your facility.
I just want to know.
No, not until that.
That's the
And then
problem.
when I
That
went
was
to
the only
present
problem.
them saying, hey, this is an event that a lot of people are wanting to have, because this is around the time that a lot of them want to have it, that's when I presented the event to them.
What time is the soccer?
Soccer is in the morning.
In the morning? And the basketball, what time you planning it?
8, has it always?
So then we would have to pay the sheriff also as well to be here as well. Do we have to pay?
For a basketball.
For basketball
Yeah.
as well?
And just remember, in April, we have a basketball tournament that's by
They
CCWCD.
have never been,
I have never seen a sheriff at any tournament that we've had.
He was in our basketball tournament.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When?
Yes.
As many times
For the
as I-
kids, for this year. Yes, for the kids this
As
year.
many times have I volunteered, I've never seen an officer.
No.
Believe me, you'll be at hot dog.
This year, starting this year, he's been present at our events. I've made sure that he's been present at our events
I would say
for that
when I
reason.
volunteered, I have
I've
never
never
seen
seen-
a deputy
paying
there.
extra
Not
for
saying,
No.
not saying, I think it's great, I'm just saying that all the times that I volunteered to cook,
Donnie,
they've never been.
Donnie.
they've never-
Okay, but we have it now, so let's just be thankful. Let's move
Oh,
on.
I agree, yeah.
Come on.
I
Yeah.
think is how many basketball games? Honestly, I think next time that you plan a basketball game, whatever, you should come first.
absolutely. No,
No
I
respect
agree,
to
no,
you.
like I
And
told
tell
them, I
them
agree,
about
yes.
it, so you shake the calendar, and you
Absolutely.
don't have this conflict of,
This is what I wanted to avoid, the argument and stuff like that. Because I want to work closely with the management staff, because as we work closely with the community, I want to work closely
just
with
get
them.
done, but you did it yourself.
Well, I was
You
going
plan it-
to.
you plan it
Well,
yourself with your people without coming to Central County and telling them what you were planning to do.
I was going to present it to them because I thought there was nothing on the schedule, because I didn't have a schedule. But no, you're right.
Next time.
Yes, absolutely.
It takes a lot. It really does. To put on an event, it really does.
So what is your proposal to the board, or what is it that we're trying to
The
do?
proposal is to, as I said before, that Central County just hold for the policy and insurance reasons the event.
And-
That's it.
and
It's
is-
not moving
and-
forward.
And what else do we have to supply?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
They're providing service of food and
Who's
stuff like
they?
that. Central County.
We have a motion on the floor.
Um,
And all in favor? A second? Sorry. Motion does not carry. All right, next thing, you have anything else to bring?
No, sir.
Mr. Gonzalez?
We're ready to go.
All right.
No,
Listen, it's your turn. Hold on, he's next. Now it's your turn.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Thank you.
We're in Hialeah time. 4 hours, man.
Hey, that's on you because you didn't make the shareholders.
4 hours. Yeah, I need to start using this. Go ahead.
Okay,
I need a raise, John.
I want to talk about the ATVs, the four-wheel motorcycles. I have been talking to a lot of residents, they want to ride the ATVs here in Montura. This is something big for them.
They don't ride them?
They want to ride it.
They don't ride them? I'm asking, they don't ride them?
Now it's
They
illegal
do,
with the mountains.
illegally.
Oh, it's illegal to ride the ATV?
You were the one that started the whole thing.
It's illegal to ride ATV?
Let's not go there.
Make sure I have the meeting. It's illegal to ride ATVs?
No.
Yes, it
is.
Now it's illegal to ride it in the reservoir.
It's your floor.
But this is something that I want to propose to the board to see if we can accommodate the residents to ride the ATVs here legally in the roads.
The roads?
Excuse me, sir. Let me finish. In the dirt roads.
Oh, okay.
It's illegal on the statute of the state of Florida to ride the ATVs on dirt road as long as they have a 25-mile speed limit posted on them.
Gotcha.
And approved by DOT. Okay? So we're gonna make a motion to approve that so the residents of Monterey Ranch Estates that have ATVs can ride with the family and enjoy themselves riding the ATVs on their road and have design properly places that says 25 miles per hour. Mr. Deputy Dominguez,
DOT.
please.
Yes, sir. DOT.
It's 25 miles per hour or 30 miles per hour in order to be legal.
It's gotta be less than 35 miles an hour, so that means DOT will have to come out and post either 30 miles an hour signs or 25 miles an hour signs.
In order to be legal.
On dirt roads.
In order to be legal.
Yeah.
Like Cannon Road.
From sun up to sundown.
Sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
That's enough time for them to enjoy it. Right. Okay. So that's the proposal I'm bringing to the board. We can make a motion to,
All right.
to,
That causes a whole big study.
make, send to DOT, a request to come over here and put in 25 miles,
Does it cost us anything?
Yes,
Yep.
it will.
Does DOT have to do a study?
Yes, they do. They will.
And how much is the study?
Danny, this is America, everything costs here. Go to Burger King, you have to pay for the water.
I recommend.
But I just wanted to look for something for the residents of Montura that enjoy the ATVs and have a lot of complaints. And they coming to me and telling me they want to ride with the family.
I got a complaint.
So do we have a motion on the floor?
They ruined my
Pass
roads.
this,
Exactly.
Santana
They ruined the
approves
roads.
ATVs and having speed limit signs so they can ride on dirt roads.
Mr. Santana, I totally, I like the idea, I love the idea.
Do we have a motion on the floor? Here's the question.
I make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
So what's the motion, what's the base of the motion? What is the base?
The base of the motion is to put a request to DOT to come here
Oh my God.
and,
Are we trying to save money?
approve putting the speed limits
There ain't no way.
on their roads, whatever their roads we're gonna sign, 25 miles per hour, so the resident of Montura can ride the ATVs on those roads.
There's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Motion does not carry. I have nothing to report. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion, do we have a second? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.